Welcome, everybody, to Adrift in Aldhalor. How are you all doing tonight? Good to see you in chat, Bumbling Rose. Let's see. We are starting off with whatever the name of the show is. I forgot how to do this. Welcome to Adrift in Aldhalor, our weekly actual play D&D show set in our homebrew world of Aradun. Our music is licensed through musicbed.com. We use Bardly to share it amongst ourselves for gameplay. And occasionally we use Syrinscape for our ambience. I use it a little less in this game than others, but it's still a great service. Stefan is going to help me with some announcements tonight because Shannon has to help take care of some family stuff, so she'll be joining us a little later. So Stefan, let me bring you on screen. I got to bring you all on screen. We're all on screen. Okay.
Yeah.
Behave yourselves, other ones, because you're on screen when you're not normally. All right, Steph.
Yeah, and while you're behaving yourself, why don't you step into Arcane Spectacles, where every roll of the dice is an adventure. Their exotic wood dice vaults and hand-selected dice sets are the perfect treasure for any tabletop RPG enthusiast. And with their personalized D&D themed Christmas ornaments, you can keep the magic of your games alive all year round. Each ornament can be customized with your party's names, making it a unique and meaningful memento. So why wait? Join them at arcanespectacles.com and roll for the ultimate tabletop experience. Make sure to use our code that Shannon didn't put in here, and I don't remember what it is.
It's just Paradice, I think. I don't know if we still have the code, truthfully, for that one, since she hasn't have it in there, but you can try it. Try Paradice at checkout to see if you can get 10% off your order.
And not go to Arcane Spectacles on Twitter and ask them for a code, because I'm sure they'd help you out because they're great people. Next, we have Underground Oracle Publishing. They are a bestseller Emmy-nominated TTRPG publisher, building new and exciting settings for the cipher system of every genre you can imagine. Each setting includes everything you need to explore its unique world, including lore, species, descriptors, foci, creatures, ciphers, artifacts, and all the rules that you need to play. For as little as $3, you can join their Patreon and help shape each of the worlds that they create. Next up, we've got Eddie Yorke. He is our character artist. He is an illustrator based in the UK who makes art for games and books. To visit his portfolio and get in contact with him, visit eyorke.com. And lastly, we have 1985 Games. They create affordable, accessible, high-quality accessories for Dungeons and Dragons and other tabletop role-playing games. Sean uses their NPC cards, or used to. Maybe he still will. You know, if you just, like, redesign the faces and give them new names.
That's true. That's true, actually.
You know, use the elements that you haven't used before and, like, make, like, a Frankenstein 1985 Games character. Well, reduce, reuse, recycle, folks, both for your plastics and for your D&D notes. This one you can definitely use because Shannon has it in there. Paradice Prod, that's Paradice spelled our way, PROD, for 10% off your entire order. Finally, you can join us over on Discord. You know that place where you diss the chords for recaps. Sean posts them every week before our sessions. Maybe did you post this week's?
They are behind because I skipped one, and so they will be up there.
The perfectionist in you needs to get it all right. Yep. I understand. It's okay. Look, you'll get it eventually.
Totally.
Don't worry about it. But not only Discord, you can join us in Paradice on Bluesky, on Twitch, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Discord again, Instagram, and TikTok, or TikTok as the kids call it. Links are over in chat. If no one is doing them, then
we are, but I don't remember the socials one.
Links.
And
if you're interested in sponsoring an episode or 2 or 3 or 4 or indefinitely of Adrift in Aldhalor, you can shoot us an email over at paradiceRPG@gmail.com. So how about we start playing some D&D?
Yeah, good job.
Thanks.
Very good, very good. He needs
Good
a break
energy.
now to recover
Well
from
done.
using the ad voice. All right, folks. We are going to jump right into our recap tonight. So, last we left off, our heroes explored what was seen as an abandoned, well, not abandoned, but lost shipwreck off the coast of Asia. Now, this shipwreck seemed to be an old ship that had crashed onto a reef of rocks, and very quickly the party decided it was time to investigate. And in fact, the whole party went with, even those who cannot swim and who are afraid of it, thanks to the little boat that the utterly seaworthy lent them. As they went over, Sass, being basically aquatic as she is, leapt into the water to explore beneath the waves to see what sort of treasure awaits, but also possibly some danger. Very quickly upon arriving, Fionn joined her in this and got to also kind of get a little glimpse into the underwater world that he's never seen before in these very different lands than his homelands to the far, cold north. As they began to just sort of scrap every piece of semi-valuable, maybe not valuable items from the front of the ship that had sank to the bottom of the reef, the rest of them began exploring the reef itself. They found several of these large seaweed-covered pillars that, upon closer inspection from Bruce with his tremor sense, identified as petrified sailors, it looked like. Very quickly, the party grew a little more tense at knowing that there could be some kind of creature around. Septimus surmised possibly a sea basilisk or even possibly a sea hag who had cursed these sailors based on their past deeds. While doing so, Jacquet found the captain's quarters, where he immediately began looking for treasure and other things. He didn't find too much gold or whatnot, but he did find a ledger from the captain, which detailed some aspects of what is going on here. And it does seem like there is an aspect of this where they were mistrusting some entity that they needed to do something for, although the pages began to fade from the damage of the waves. Of course, he found a large cask of beer there that he began to roll out of the captain's quarters, but it rolled over a little loose panel in the floor that keyed into there being more to this. And as Jacquet opened that up, he found that he couldn't. Actually, I forgot. He had to cast knock on it. And then suddenly, it opened up. And down below, he found a chamber filled with bones, two large vases, and what seemed to be possibly some kind of puzzle. The Bruce and Septimus quickly joined him, with Bruce being able to see through the walls to see that there was a secret door there that did lead to another chamber, confirming that there was some kind of puzzle in this room. After collecting some more from below, Fionn joined them as well, as Sass was going to do a quick roundabout around the reef to see if there's any danger or any other treasure around. And the party began to mess around with these vases, filling them with water to solve somewhat of a somewhat of a puzzle that may or may not be similar to one could find in a very famous movie. Thankfully, Jacquet has his decanter of endless water, so they didn't have to worry about being too specific. They could be exactly as they needed to with that. But it was before they fully unlocked this door, Sass did alert them that there did seem to be some more of the Sawahin shark creatures nearby. So she quietly returned to the group, got together, but part of the unveiling of this door was similarly some loud sounds that disrupted these creatures, and they quickly began to rush up a small hole in the chamber filled with water. And the party got ready, held their actions, and got into a fight with three of these creatures. It was a little close at certain points. Some party members got hit pretty hard because Fionn had not taken a long rest and was exhausted. But the party was able to succeed, which allowed them to sneak into the next room, where they discovered not what they expected. I think they really believe there might be some treasure in there or some other secrets. But they found a young sea serpent mingle hybrid dragon turtle creature that was sort of waking up as if it had been awoken by this puzzle and rolling around in the pile of treasure and seaweed that it had in its lair, presumably. After a little arguing, the party agreed that they should try to talk to it, and they presented Bruce, our draconic ambassador of the party, who went in and used all of his charm and his ability to speak Draconic with the backup of Jacquette to learn a little bit more about this creature. Their name is Sarud, and they are the child of the ancient dragon turtle that once ruled this sea before they were supplanted by mysterious elemental-like figures that the party has some theories about who they might be based on who they've met before. But the dragon was very thankful for being freed from this curse that seemed to have been placed on it by those people as well, and offered them one piece of treasure as a reward. Although it did seem to have very hostile views of Fearn and Sass.
And who got us the treasure, by the way?
Jacquette did kind of finalize the convincing. Bruce got the dragon turtle comfortable with you all, and then Jacquette sank the goal. I don't know. To get you all a reward as well. Although Fearn right now is sort of in a half zone because he did request something else, safe passage, as part of his favor. Sass was obsessed with trying to get the god dragon, young godling dragon, to restore her memories, but the dragon did not seem very interested in helping her. In fact, it was very hostile towards her. It's clearly some link to her patron angering this creature. But once you kind of calmed the creature down, got your promise of safe passage and goods, you proceeded then to begin digging through some treasure to find what you wanted, as the dragon turtle kind of returned to its business. So this is where we left off. So I would say the 5 of you are kind of like still in the middle of the room as Sarud just sort of like begins to just wander away from you. And he goes over to his own kind of corner where he was originally looking through one pile of treasure. And you actually notice he almost seems to be looking around, taking stock of the treasure while you're also looking for your own items. So, is there anything you all specifically would like to be looking for or doing at this moment, or should I get into the treasure that you all find?
I think you can all get into the treasure. However, Jacquette would probably be trying to pocket every now and again a few gold.
Okay.
Not too greedy, but like, a handful here or there, just like one slyly off a ledge that just seems a little out of place. He's just tidying up for Sarud,
Of course. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check. And then I would actually like everyone to give me an investigation check.
Oh.
To see if we know if he's doing that.
You could use your passive perception for that. This is for something else.
I got a 16 on the sleight of hand, and I got a 6 on the investigation.
Okay. I'll say throughout this, you're able to pocket 5 gold.
Cool.
It's pretty easy to be moving treasure around and just
just
pop one in your pocket. I imagine for you, it's like you pocket one and you suddenly hear just sort of like as he's moving around and stomping, and that stops you from just grabbing a handful.
Mm-hmm.
What were our other investigation checks?
12.
12? Okay.
17.
Michael?
Starting off strong with a nat 20 for 28.
Excellent.
Hello.
Excellent. Okay.
Hey, never happens.
Proud of you.
All right.
Proud of you.
So, who would like to go first? Who would like to start to explore first?
Let's start with that nat 20, right?
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
So, Michael.
All right.
Michael.
Yeah, Septimus would be like seeing everybody like trail off towards the treasure, not understanding what was going on, would just be like kind of like cautious at first, like, okay, I guess like he doesn't care about us, and just kind of like just mosey off, and then finally like get into it.
Yeah, you might be a little concerned at first as the still large creature is moving about. But yeah, he seems completely and wholly uninterested in you at this point. He's kind of like at his social battery has been spent with that encounter you first had with him, as he's now kind of just getting used to himself again. All right, Michael. I don't know, I keep saying Michael. you would be searching through a particular section of this where you see there's a lot of like really valuable looking stuff that you at first are kind of like, oh, maybe I should grab something valuable, I could sell it, I can fix the farm. But you do a lot of that. You do a lot of giving up stuff for yourself for other things. So you just start to look for something that calls out to you, that maybe has a sense of magical spark to it. And you find in a corner in what looks like an old gilded bucket, essentially, like something someone might put canes in, or staves. You would find a couple interesting looking staves leaning against the wall. And the thing that I think is most interesting, though, is you get an immediate feeling of life to these staves. So much so that when you get close to them, you go to reach for the first one, and you see tethers from your hand, like tethers of light, go from your hand to the staff. And you can feel, I guess this is actually a good question I haven't asked you in a while. What do you actually perceive as your holy symbol as a cleric right now?
That's a good point. That's a good question.
Would you say your hammer for now? Or would you have made a crude symbol? Or a nice symbol?
I would
You've
have
had a while.
probably made a crude if this works, a crude symbol of if there was a significant or like repeating symbol of the etchings that are on Sal. You had mentioned that he has like etchings on him. I know I never like fully discussed like what those etchings were. If there was like a significant one like on his back or like his chest, or if like there are like smaller ones that like are rampant throughout his body, I'd say he'd probably gravitate towards that.
Absolutely. So I'd say like you note at the very least that Sal's intricate runes that kind of make up a magical weaving over his armor tend to have that that circular shape that is made up of geometric symbols. You could have made a crude kind of version of that with just literally just some junk metal that you could have sort of fused together into sort of this like. It's funny. Our cleric last session had a crescent moon as their symbol. This is essentially like a metal but more perfectly circular crescent that has sort of like pieces coming off of it, I imagine, sort of to try to best represent that very, very not harsh but sharp geometry of the runes. You might look at some of the runes on Fearn and they're very organic looking. While the runic structures of Sal's are very, very geometrical.
Right.
But anyway, you would feel as the magic comes from your hand there, which creates sort of these tethers that are sort of like really quick lines as opposed to some, not like wispy, but more direct. Your holy symbol would begin to buzz a little bit at your chest, as if not necessarily that these staves are like vestiges of your god, but more so staves that respond to divine power.
Interesting. Okay. Go ahead.
And you notice there are 3 staves that are in there that you can choose from as you go to reach them.
Inspecting each like of the 3 initially, they all respond.
They all have the similar response. Yes.
Interesting. Could I spend time to identify each one?
Yeah. Well, give me an Arcana check.
One is for fire, one is for ice, and the other is for lightning.
16.
Okay. So, the first one you look at is very straightforward. When you magically oriented, you don't need much of a roll to identify this one. It's as you are kind of holding on to it, you can feel a invigorating magic within it, and that this staff has healing properties. The staff, if you choose it, is something that will help you with healing others. And perhaps even maybe if it bends to your divine perspective, those healing properties may extend to Sal, where other healing properties would not affect Sal.
Okay.
The middle staff that you reach for is upon seizing it, these staves also like react to you. Like they you can see them almost like tremble, as if like their form would change if you attune to them to fit your aesthetic, one might say.
Aesthetic.
As this one you can see in the middle, you can feel it would have more of a effect on you versus others. And would have you would be able to do some minor summoning magic with this staff that might be helpful in protecting you and also in combat.
Okay.
And then the final one looks as though the first one had you affecting your allies, the second one had you affecting yourself, this third one very clearly will affect others or enemies in some way, as well as help you connect with particular types of creatures, perhaps persuaded by your divine influence.
Right.
So something to help others, something to help yourself, something sort of in the middle.
Septimus will ponder over this for a little bit, maybe while everybody else is getting theirs. Unless they have choices as well.
I mean, truthfully, you're the only one who's going to have choices. Everyone else has one that they're particularly going to get. It might have to do with you being the person who didn't ask for anything.
I mean, that makes sense.
All right, let's go to Bruce next, since Bruce rolled next highest.
Higher. Yeah.
Okay, so Bruce.
What do we got here?
Yeah, Bruce, you, I imagine, of everyone are doing like sort of like the most digging around, and like really like trying to get your hand deep in the pile to find the good stuff. You know, like a kid reaching into their basket of toys and they know their favorite one is at the bottom. As you're almost like sweeping like platinums and golds over your shoulder, looking for something more interesting than that. As I imagine, what happens is you find something and you start to pull on it, and this is a pile that is like sort of like a sort of old like it's a chest basically that has like a shelves around it, and as you're pulling on this thing, and it won't come out. It feels almost immovable in some way, and until you accidentally press onto a button on it, and your arm goes flying back and hits into the shelf, and you can see a bunch of vials start to shake, and you see one of them falls off. Give me a sleight of hand check to catch it, or an acrobatics check to catch it.
I'm gonna make this a disadvantage because I can't see.
That's true.
Oh, never mind. 6.
Okay. So, Bruce, you watch as this bottle, this glass vial hits the ground, and you can see a crack in the side. It's strong enough that it doesn't shatter, but you do start to see just like this smoke start to come out of the crack.
Oh no. I immediately just grab it and then mend. I'm gonna cast mending on it and just try to seal the cracks. Oh god.
Absolutely. And it's like, even as that happens, you hear over your shoulder Sarud just sort of like, what's going on over there?
Don't worry about nothing. I dropped something. It's all right.
As he goes back to his business. And you rub the vial and take your hand away, and you can see the crack has been sealed. It is still like, it's like you can see it's cracked, but like it's been sealed off. Maybe it'll repair over time to not be a cracked, ever-flowing smoke bottle. But you look in your other hand, you have an immovable rod there.
Hey.
Of course.
So
He's gonna leave it somewhere, and then he won't be able to find it because it'll be just floating in the sky.
Is there a name etched into the side of it?
no, there could be many names etched into the side of it. I feel like every single campaign I have an immovable rod in the game.
It's always Alex.
And it's always Alex who has
it.
it. Yeah, right. It has timber scratched into the side of it. How'd this end up
bite
here?
marks.
Yeah, there's some divine bite marks on it from Lou playing fetch with when Lou was acting up a lot. Timber would just activate it and let him chew on it and pull on it in the middle of the air. And then, yeah. All right.
Hey. No.
All right. Yes.
Oh no, nothing.
Okay. I will go over to which one of you got higher on your investigation?
I got a 12.
12. Okay. So Fearon, I imagine you're kind of maybe a little bummed as you're watching everyone dig through the treasure.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I didn't hear what the monster said. I went through a translation. I'm not sure if he got what I meant. So I mean, maybe,
So you're I imagine like as like you even like see Bruce like doing all this searching and almost breaking the ever smoking bottle, and you see Septimus there, this smoke coming out of his head as he's trying to decide between these staves. And you kind of just like sit down on a chest, and maybe like put your head in your hands, as Bruce is flailing about with all of this stuff. You see something goes bouncing from behind him, and cling, 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 and then rolls up to your foot, and then wobbles down on the ground. Is this tiara or headband, one might say, on the ground? It's right there. You could take it. It sits right at your feet.
Yeah, look. So beautiful with it on. There's a mirror behind you.
You see there's a little bit of a broken mirror on the ground that you could just kind of looking at it and looking back at that. You can add another headpiece to your inventory if you were to snatch it.
I pick it up and I look at it and I kind of just like spin it around my finger, and then I like grab it and I kind of bend it a little. And it doesn't like I try to put it on and it like doesn't really fit around my horns, and I have to like kind of like stretch it a little, so I'm like looking at the creature that's like ruffling around and like just like going like this, like looking and like bending the metal just a little bit just to stretch it out.
Excellent.
I put it on my head.
You have a headband of intellect now.
Oh.
And finally, before we return to Septimus for his choice, we have our fancy boy, Jacquet. Jacquet, I imagine you're almost a little more interested in snatching little pieces of gold here and there, and like not necessarily it's not top of mind, the magic items that are around. You're almost like, I'm shopping. I'm gonna steal a few coins and see if anything really calls out to me, because it's looking rather nice. And it's actually, you like are sneaking around, snatching a coin here and there. You like see Bruce fumble over this ever smoking bottle. You see Fearn stretching out this headband and looking up constantly at Sarud. And then you see and look over at Septimus, who is just sort of like pondering deeply over this sort of like umbrella basket that has staves in it. And you look and see that he's staring at these staves, but between those staves is a little shorter scepter-like cane that has a very fine metal head to it, handle, with a big looped ring on it, with what looks like a very nice, pristinely kept wood base to it, or leg to it. Very, very fine looking. That might go great with your outfit.
Sorry, Septimus, if I could just get in here. As Jacques reaches around him, not waiting for her answer, and slides the cane out from the looped handle, as it were.
And as you have it now, you see in the loop, like, it's sturdy, it's hefty, it's almost like a door knocker, one might say.
Jacques kind of like grabs the cane itself and like jiggles it a little to have the knocker like bounce upon itself. It lets out like a nice solid ring, and he hears some magic in there. You know, he's not an artificer, he's not a wizard, but he's got that bardic ear for the arcane.
Oh yeah.
And he goes, okay, I think I see where this is going. And he twirls it a little, holds it under his elbow, and then slides it down to tap against the floor. And he goes, I like this. What do you think, Septimus? He says, almost like showing it off to Septimus, like leaning on it, like a gentleman with his cane.
Yeah. Nice. Very nice.
What do you have there? A couple of staves?
Trying to decide which might be best, but I think I know what I want. As Septimus will go ahead and take the first one you had mentioned.
Okay. All right. So, Septimus, if you take the first one, then you now have a staff of healing, which will, upon attunement, will shape itself into the aesthetic of your choice to match your divine influence.
I'm gonna pick probably what's on my art.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And the cure wounds that you can cast through it is castable on Sal.
Ooh.
Only Sal or constructs in general?
Constructs in general.
Yeah. Nice. Wait, so it's just okay, you mentioned Staff of Healing. Got it.
Yep, it's a real item, yeah.
Cool beans.
But essentially, yeah, like the divine benefit of it is I'll actually say that all of the spells you can cast through it can be cast upon constructs as well.
How long does it take to attune? Is that a long
an hour. Or short rest.
An hour, okay.
45 minutes if I'm being nice. Half hour if I'm really being nice.
And if you love us, 15 minutes.
He's got jokes, this one. He's got jokes, this one.
You guys said the only reason I'm here is for my jokes.
We did say that. And during the break, Septimus, I'll tell you what the other ones are so that you can possibly regret your decision. Or think about this for the rest of time.
Of course.
Not to say you will, but I know I probably would regardless of what I chose. Hello.
It's Shannon.
Hi.
As Sass, you notice everyone is pilfering through some treasure. You notice maybe you're a little timid because the dragon turtle was rude to you, really hostile to you, and you're not even sure if you should be taking something, but your friend said you can. As you can see, Bruce is like digging through a chest and pulls out what is an immovable rod that he takes, and his elbow jams up into a shelf, and you see a little bottle comes falling off that he catches or doesn't catch. It doesn't shatter, it cracks, and you see him quickly trying to mend it as Sarud is kind of being loud in the corner. You can see Fearon, who's not supposed to take any treasure, has found himself a little headband that he found on the ground and is stretching it now to fit on his head. As Septimus and Jacquette are over by a little like umbrella bucket that has some staves in it. And Jacquette has basically found like a walking stick cane that has this big like knocking door knock on it that he flips around and taps on the ground as Septimus grabs one of the staves and he holds it up and it sort of forms to him. The other two staves, you notice, Septimus, as soon as you grab this one, lose all divine magic.
I'll really lock it in.
As Sass, you're looking around now.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Is anything in particular you're looking for?
Or
types of things you're looking for?
Yes, types of things. Anything that might increase my armor class, as it were, or anything tiny, spherical shaped, kind of looks like a pearl that might might store some magic, potentially. Maybe.
I wonder what you're talking about.
Yeah, I tried to be as coy as I could, but let me know if you need me to say exactly what it is.
No, I know exactly what you're looking for. But I will give you a choice similar to... Actually, roll me an investigation check.
You got it, boss. 12.
12, okay. So, you will find a few things that might be of this area that you're looking for. So you said something pearl-like or something that will improve your armor class.
Yes.
Okay, so you would find something that really stands out to you. Now, it looks really, really old and dirty. Like it might be holding some magic that might need to be coaxed out. But at its current state, maybe it will have some magic to it, as it does have a little bit of a magical shimmer to it. You can actually even see a little bit of your patron's auroras floating around it. You, of course, like all things, you feel a divine, or not divine, a otherworldly desire to lick everything in this room.
What does this thing look like that I'm about to lick?
It is a round shield. Not too big, so it wouldn't clash with your aesthetic. More of a buckler. That has it looks like it's made of a nice metal. It's got a silvery shine to it underneath some of the grime over it, with a blue kind of faded paint job on there that upon closer look has like sort of the shapes of a
Nautilus shell?
No, more of a kraken on it.
Ooh.
The aurora dances away, and you would see it flutters on over the shelf by Bruce, where you can see it swirling around a pearl like object there with some other things. And then I would say the last thing is it flutters over and starts to circle around the umbrella rack that Septimus was looking at as well.
I'll just shuffle
Where there's like a little
there.
bit of maybe another sort of walking stick like thing still there. You have three choices: something that looks like a walking stick, something that looks like a pearl, and something that is a shield.
Is this Kingdom Hearts?
Can I think about it for a second?
Sure. I'll let you think about it while I'll say the four of you are kind of like gathered back in the middle of the room with all your fancy items.
Hey everybody. Looks like you made some good choices. Look, I don't trust this thing. If it doesn't like me right off the bat, it might not let us leave here safe, even if it promises. So I think I'm just gonna take something instead, and we'll be on our own from here on out.
That's fair. I think that we can trust Sarud. He's a little eclectic, to be sure, but he means well. He can be a valuable ally in controlling the Bay of Biscuits. What's the bay called, Sean?
The Zephyr Bay.
In control of the Zephyr Bay.
You were close.
I thought so. Bay of Pigs, maybe? No.
Do you think that those stone people upstairs was it's doing?
I imagine that they were turned to stone before the ship crashed. And from this captain's log I found, Jacquet gesticulating with the log that he pulls out of his coat, it sounds like they ran afoul of some magic by a figure named Amir. Septimus, are you familiar with this god at all? I mean, you're a cleric, so I assume that you know everything.
Am I, Sean?
Give me a religion check.
11.
11. The name sounds a little familiar, like you may have passed it in reading some other texts, particularly when you were in the academy reading up on larger elemental powers, particularly looking for things of the sea. You would have heard that Ilmir is a ancient deity that is it's you're not going to spell it right. Is associated with lost elven civilizations. So it's said to have been an old faith. The only evidence remaining of that god is in Elysia, actually. There is a region called Ilmir's Bight.
Oh.
So people believe it was the common elven ancestor of the Gwyn and the Elysians worshipped a sea god known as Ilmir.
Got it.
Which would be probably a little more relevant in this land, since this is meant to be the original homeland of the non-Feywildian elves.
Right. Only recall it by name, but not too much of why the crew would be cursed by it.
Do you think we can save them? Like, maybe we should try bringing them back to the ship and getting them help?
No, that sounds like a lot of work. They're probably dead anyways. Let's just leave them.
I mean, their lives are at stake. Maybe we could at least save one. You could tell us what happened to him and his friends.
Or they're dead and it's a waste of time.
I agree with you quite. I'd rather not just linger here more than we are wanted.
Here, if nothing else, we'll get the coordinates from the sailors when we get back to the ship. And if we find a way, we come back here in the future. I mean, we'll probably come back to hang out with Sarud and get more of his treasure.
I suppose they've been here for long enough. Wouldn't hurt to leave them, and traveling with them on that ship, with the waves and stuff, we might end up damaging them. If we, I'll take precautions to seal up where they are, and hopefully we'll be able to get them help sometime down the line.
I think that's a better call. It's better than lugging around such heavy objects. I'm not quite sure how to even depetrify somebody in my studies.
Yeah, I don't know where to start on that one either, to be honest.
Bruce knows.
It's a long process, but you can do it.
Can you do it?
No. Oh, wait, maybe. I don't think I can.
You have lesser restoration?
I do. But I thought it was paralyzation that it cures. Yeah, not petrification.
Yeah, I don't think lesser restoration does.
Yeah, blind, deafened, paralyzed, and poisoned.
Yeah.
Or one
Excuse
disease.
Excuse me. I
I
apologize.
thought you were an expert at clerics.
Nope, I'm a dummy. Remember, I wasn't a healing cleric.
That's true. You were a war cleric. You were a zealous war cleric. The true villain of Campaign 1.
I don't trust zealots.
It's greater restoration that does petrification.
Yeah. Yeah, I was around a lot of people that could do it, but I don't have that capability.
Bruce, you even know some people who could do it, but they're far away.
Yeah.
One person in particular.
Yeah.
whose father may have always said, you should always have one of these potions ready. Saskia, are you close to or have decided?
I have decided, yes.
Okay.
I am going to kind of follow the aura around to all 3 items, and then I'm going to circle back to the shelf where the pearl is. And before I take it, I would look at Sarud and just be like, is it okay? Should I leave it? Should I not take anything? You didn't like me very much.
No, he's not paying attention at all.
Oh.
He's on the, you would like maybe say that across the room and he would just not be paying attention. Before I mentioned to everyone, it seems as though his social battery has drained to 0.
I get it. All right. So then, it's just like I was talking to myself, and I'll reach up and I will take the pearl and I will look at it, and then I will look at my amulet, and I will decide at some point to see if I can put this pearl on my amulet. That's in some fashion.
Okay. Fair enough. You have picked up a pearl of power.
Yay.
Nice.
Magic leaves the other items.
Oof.
Gone.
It's all right. We'll be back when he's restocked with very rare and legendary items.
Yeah, the other stuff was the stuff of teleportation.
And he was covered. It was actually broken. It needed to be repaired.
A second ship is ruined there with 30 more petrified people. They're like, where did you get these items again?
Don't worry about it. Just bring us to shore. Okay. All right. So you have your pearl of power.
Excellent.
POP.
And then I will wander over to the group of kind of just like measuring the pearl against the current other mother of pearl thing that I have on my necklace, and just like
Mother of pearl.
So are we good?
Bruce is gonna like put his hand over Saskia's like pearl, like put it away.
Sorry.
I think
we're good to go. I guess we'll say one last goodbye to Sarud and be on our way.
Yes, tell him that I'm grateful for his bounty.
So am I.
Sarud, I know you kind of just want to say a quick thank you again.
So you see
Your
that large, long, slithering serpent-like head comes out of the shell, like uncomfortably, because he's standing 15 feet away from you, or his body is 15 feet away from you, and the head just comes around the body, looking back at you. But then the body catches up to the head, that he walks up to it, it actually slowly, you can see, starts to melt away, as if turning to water, before his whole form turns into a medium-sized turtle, holding up a staff that has sort of like barbs of shellfish and other things on it, and you can see little mollusks on it opening and closing, as he now just looks like a young turtle as he comes up. Feels good to have another form.
That's take it back. Very impressive. Just wanted to give our gratitude once more. Thank you for enriching us with your bounty. We're gonna
bounty, such a strange
treasure. Whatever you want to
Gifts.
say. Gifts. Thank you.
rewards.
Rewards, gifts, treasures, whatever you wish.
Yeah, I'm not at the thesaurus. Yeah, we're gonna head out now. If you ever need to get in contact with us again, here's my business card.
Starts looking at it. Funny. I don't understand.
Yeah, you're supposed to. Do you know how to write?
Yes, I believe so. I believe I can.
So yeah, just write a message here, and I'll you could write it in Draconic, and I'll get it. I'll receive the message in my head, and I'll be able to respond to you in your head.
And then he looks at
All
you
right.
and he says, and then you hear him telepathically, like this?
Exactly like that. Did telepathically.
Fair enough. I have a lot of work to do. Give it some time, but come and visit again, and perhaps we have more we can do together to avenge my family.
Are you gonna be living here? Is that?
This will be my primary lair till I claim the sea.
All right. Well, we'll be sure to come visit you again. And is there any indication we should, like, raise a flag or to tell who we are, or so you know not to attack our ship?
Perhaps you should come up with some sort of symbol of your arrival. A flag, perhaps.
What about something like this? And Jacques is going to minor illusion, and it's going to be a sword and then like a swirl of magic. Like very simple design, but in its form, but over the top. There's a lot of color in the magical swirl, and he's really got a nice like elven crafted blade on there. Iron and mana.
That would be suitable.
All right. Great. Thank you, Jacques.
Of course.
And with that, we'll be on our way.
Take care of yourselves. I look forward to a reunion. As he turns away from you immediately and starts to go to take inventory of what you've taken. All right, we can head on out. You head back out through the secret door, up the latch, and out into the spooky hallway with all the statues, and out onto the reef, where there's a boat that has too much stuff on it.
Jacques directs Fjern to carry the cask of ale. When we get up there, Jacques like, "Oh, by the way, I found this in the captain's quarters. I'm sure it's primo stuff, Should be a good time celebrating on the ship tonight."
All right, read that. Everyone listen. Nobody touches anything until I go through it myself. I have a process, and I want it all lined up appropriately and organized, and I will take note of everything we have. I have a system, and it must be followed. Yes?
Fjern has not been listening. He's taking the bits of rug that is fallen apart, and he's like stuffing it into the like cracks of the entrances to make sure that no water gets into the room with all the petrified people.
Fjern, did you hear anything I just said?
Yep, got it all.
Repeat it back to me. What did I say?
You're the boss.
Good enough. Yep.
Phew. Dodged a bullet on that one.
So as you're returning to the rowboat, Septimus and Bruce, looking at this thing, you would be much more nervous to get into the boat with all of the booty that has been added to it, the bounty.
That's not very structurally sound.
It'll be all right. We're not going too far.
Jacquet.
Has it been an hour since I got this item?
It is not. You.
Okay.
I would like to dive into the water and swim ahead so that I'm at the utterly seaworthy before the rest of them, so I can start taking everything off and putting it out in neat little piles based on type of material, and then once everything's by type of material, then I would do by size.
I thought everything was on the boat.
On the rowboat.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I'm swimming back to the actual ship.
Ahead of you all.
Yeah, but how are you organizing if the stuff's on the rowboat?
When you get there.
Oh.
I want to be there before you guys so I can unload it in the way that I want to unload it. That I am practiced in.
I got it.
We've got a lot of stuff in the magic bag, right? Here, I hand Sal the giant jug of alcohol, and I take up the oars and sit on the ship.
Sal didn't come with us.
Sal didn't come with you all. So you all, I imagine you all are heading back to the boat, the ship, and the rowboat is like, the water's closer to the side of it than it was before. As you're going through slowly, and it's just sort of creaking the entire way back, as like every now and then, Septimus, you just feel water splash on your feet coming over the edge.
Yeah, that 1 point of exhaustion is really hitting Fearn hard right now.
As you get to the side of the ship, and as they're kind of like trying to hitch the rowboat to pull it up, they shout down that you're basically going to have to start climbing up with some of it before they can pull it all the way up here. So
Gimme.
Fearn, you can start handing stuff up to Sass, and Sal can be there ready to grab stuff as well. As Sass, I imagine you're lining all of this up on the top deck.
Very meticulously, very, very meticulously. And once it's all up there, I am sitting in the middle of all of it and surveying everything. And I have a spiel that I want to do, but I don't know if there's anything, Sean, that you needed to
It's nothing I need to do.
before.
You guys or if there's anything you all need to want to do before
Yes.
you, as you're coming up onto the deck and seeing Sass organize this.
Bruce is the last one up. He's trying his best to figure out how to get up.
Jacquet immediately, when we got there, had just climbed up with maybe a sack or two that he dropped unceremoniously by Sass, and then he walks a small distance away, like midship, and is just casually leaning on the cane as he watches this whole process with a calculating eye.
Fearn's staying on the boat till second to last, and he's literally just taking things and lifting them as high as he can up to the side of the boat and having people up there reach. And he's like, Gloveless, why don't you create that invisible man to help us out?
You mean Robespierre?
Right. He could carry things, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, yeah, he is not limited by weight like Mage Hand is. So
Really? That's pretty good.
I think he has a strength of 2.
Oh no!
But it's
it's something.
Yeah, it says that it can perform tasks that a normal human servant could. So that makes me think that if it's anything like simple and not super heavy,
He would be able to pick up. He would be able to pick things up that are 30 pounds or less.
Okay. So Jacquet has them at the side, and it'd be really weird because like whereas like Sal or Sass or whoever like is able like pick stuff up, and you can like tell when they're coming. All of a sudden, it would just start to levitate out of your hands as the unseen servant assists.
Yeah, what's the situation here, Sean? Is it like a winch that like pulls the whole ship up, or
Yes. Yeah.
okay? So
Yes, like,
I'm just like free floating, and I'm just like tossing stuff onto the deck.
Yeah, absolutely. Like imagine as it's coming up, you're tossing things and it starts to come up faster. But eventually, Sass, you've got everything there. You're lining it up. Jacquette is watching. Septimus and Bruce, what are you two doing?
Watching her for a second organize everything and get it all followed. He'd kind of like, he won't touch anything, but he'll like come up from behind and kind of like
if you
peek
try,
his head
I'm
over.
smacking your hand until
I didn't touch anything, as like I said. He just come over and like take out just like some parchment and like a pen, and just like whenever she has something organized, just like taking account of it and just like kind of like writing it down and just doing it like that.
Good. Yes, inventory. Yes, that's good to have a record of it. Yes. Is that everything? Is that it all? I have things to give you all.
Yep. Besides what's in Bruce's bag, that's it.
Give it here. Dump it
no,
out.
I gotta get up there first.
You see Bruce is like pulling himself over.
Yeah.
Because it took Bruce a long time just to climb the rope ladder on the side. Because he has to reach for something invisible.
Right. Yeah, Lollyrock's like on his like coat, like just like flapping, you know?
Absolutely.
Amazing. All right. Actually, quick question for you, Steph, before I start this whole process. You found the captain's journal and a jewelry box.
Mm-hmm.
Did you put that in the pile with everything else, or did you keep it?
No.
I just checking.
That's
I
fair.
figured, but I'm just
Totally
checking.
fair.
All right. All right.
There
kind of like
is from my notes, just so you know,
mhm,
there was a bag of silver that Fearn found,
mhm.
and a small treasure chest with a magic item inside that
The
he
ornate
did not
case?
open.
Yeah.
What?
The ornate
he-
case. Yeah, I got it.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, he put that in the middle.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. All right. And I kind of like just like wipe my forehead and all right, everyone, come here. Come. I have things for all of you. Come. But don't touch it. Don't touch anything. I have it all very well organized. You only take it when I hand it to you. Got it? Somebody acknowledge me, please. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Great. Thank you. Right. I will take out that rusted old hook hand that I found first, and I will hold that out to Septimus. Say, this seems like something up your alley. I don't know if you want to attach it to that other one that you've got, or if you want to do something else with it, but here. Also, be careful, don't touch the hook part. It seems like there's a little bit of acid on it. That's for you. Here. Jacquette, I have, I just gather up so much. I have several satchels full of silver and gems worth 70 silver pieces. I have another sack of coin worth 28 silver pieces, and a fountain pen set and old stoppered ink bottles. And I just shove that all into your arms. Here, there's a lot of shit here that I think you'd like. Stop being mad at me. Then
I'm sorry.
You heard me. Bruce, I think you might like this one. It feels like it's about 15, 16, maybe 14 pounds of just scrap. Here, I figured that you could make something out of this. Maybe give Lollyrock a little armor. Septimus, you might like this
bag.
too. Yep. There you go.
Just wet junk goes into your bag.
Yep. Fearn, I know that I don't really know what you could do with this, but I didn't want you to feel left out. So here, and I give you a bunch of relics of the statuettes and the idols that are worth 65 silver pieces. And you could take this too. And I put the shovel covered in coral on top of it.
Always use a
Right.
shovel.
So
I grab the shovel and I start
Always have
spinning
one
it in my
person
hand.
in your party with a shovel.
Mm-hmm.
all right, so that's the hands, that's the pen, that's all this fucking gems and shit and the metal. Right, there's this, and I hold up the ornate case that found this in a barrel. I didn't try to open it yet. I can if you want, but it looks pretty fancy.
Open it.
Great. I'm going to try to open it. Actually,
locked.
Fern, can I see that? Can I see? Give me that shovel back for a second, please.
But can you do it?
No,
mean,
wait,
it's my shovel.
No, give me the shovel.
It's my shovel.
No.
Ding!
Stop it. That case is probably worth a couple silver itself.
I just gave you a shit ton of silver.
So you sell it, you take it, but don't ruin it.
I wasn't going to ruin it.
By the hells and the devils, what's wrong with you, woman? And Jacques kind of pushes her aside, and then we'll go to pick the lock.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a lockpicking check.
Yeah,
It has not. I know.
I'm teasing.
Wait, you want to bet what's in there?
Ooh.
As he starts going, and he goes, and he lifts the box up, and then he's like, wait, and then he mage hands it. No, he gives it to Robespierre, so it is not connected to anything. And he says, you don't get to fucking touch it this time. What do you think is inside it, my little friend?
Sean, can I quickly recall what I thought I saw, briefly when it was on the ground?
Give me an insight check, but it's gonna be a high DC.
Love it.
Woo! 24.
Nice.
Oh shit. Okay. It looked like it was in the shape of like an animal horn.
Yeah, it's probably some horn of an animal.
Horn of it. Who would keep a horn of an? Wait a minute. Inspecting the nice case, Sean, would Jacques happen to ever seen this before in terms of, going to a fancy party at a rich mansion or something, and his first thought is that it holds maybe a nice set of silverware or goblets or something. So is there anything along those lines that he could check for?
I mean, it's certainly a long case that's somewhat thin that one might. Yeah, it's more like that. Yeah, something that might contain in a more richer society. You could see easily containing an instrument. You can see it could contain a silverware set, but you think that you would know based on holding it, you would hear the silverware inside.
Right.
This seems like whatever is in it is hugged, it's in there, flush with
well
whatever.
Cushioned.
Exactly.
An animal horn, you say? Interesting. To me, this box says musical instrument. I guess we'll see who's right in the end.
It could be both, and I hold up my horn.
Touché. As I got a 16 to pick the lock.
Pops open. You imagine you're almost holding it very theatrically, what's in it? What's in it?
And it's in Robespierre's hand as he does it, so it's still floating there as he works the lock and lifts the lid.
So it is. You both were right. It is what looks to be an animal horn that is also a horn.
Well,
Fearn's
looks like
horn.
I won the bet. Fork it over.
No, that's not how this works. First off, it was Saskia's, and the bet was between us.
I want the case back. You can take the horn, but I'd like the case, please.
I didn't see a handshake or anything. I mean, I'm pretty sure I won this bet.
Takes the horn, and the box floats over to Saskia.
Thank you. Right. That is all of it, I think, unless you've got anything else that needs dispersing. Actually, Bruce, can I have a little bit of that scrap metal?
Oh, yeah, sure you go.
Cool. Thank you.
Oh,
and
what
I
about...
just open the case and I put the metal in the case.
I have to say...
Yeah,
it seems a bit...
Go ahead, sorry.
Seems a little too generous that Jacques gets all the gold and silver.
Well, he's the one that liked it the most, so that's why I gave it to him. But yeah, Jacques, maybe you should share. There was a lot.
knowing that he has another 80 silver of silver rings from the captains, he goes, you know what? That's fair. We have agreed in the past that any treasures we find would be split up, and while you all did end up getting things, he says, eyeing things like the scrap and whatnot, he goes, I don't actually know if they're worth anything. So.
My rusty hook.
Do you say that out loud?
No.
All right.
So he will take a moment to use the best of his discerning eye to split up the 98 silver 5 ways, which...
Just round it up to 100. Make it easier.
He gives everyone 19 silver and 6 coppers.
Cool.
By the way, the horn is like a very nice, like it survived quite well being underwater for however long it was, most likely because it does have a faint magical aura to it. But it is sort of like a well-polished Impala horn. That is
Tame Impala?
Yeah, exactly. Played by the band. And it looks as though you could certainly blow into it like an instrument or a horn of battle. But also it even comes with a little stopper you can put on the bottom of it, so you could drink out of it if you wanted to.
Jacquet, give it here.
Yes.
Wait, you want to identify it? It seems like it's got a magical aura to it.
Yeah, he hands it over. He goes, I was just going to blow in it, but this is a little more scientific.
Bruce, you should have just let him try. See what happens. That's the best way to identify something.
Hey, you're not wrong.
You know, it probably needs a good washing before you want to put your lips to that.
I've put my lips on far worse, trust me.
I don't want to
know. Oh god. All right, so you blow into it?
No,
I'm sorry. I just kept hearing blow into it, and I'm sorry. So you cast identify.
The mind hears what it wants to hear.
So as you cast identify,
as
your
you
lips
cast,
touch the internet and exhale.
You feel compelled to blow into the horn.
Lick it! Lick it!
No, but Sass, you do want to lick that horn. Actually, you want to lick all of the magic items. No, I'm just kidding. Once you got out of the water, the desire to lick the magic items ceased.
All right, cool.
Although maybe you feel a desire to like pocket the like pearl in your like cheek. Yeah.
So
or to keep it like under your tongue.
I'm rolling with that. So as you start Bruce, as you start identifying, I'll like kind of feel like that, like something like in my mouth, and then I'll just like kind of take the pearl out and just
Yep. And it's still got sand on it, I imagine, a little bit. It's not pleasant, but it is you do feel the like magic of it, like inherently sort of like almost bleeding out of it.
Do I immediately attune to it?
Yes.
You put things in your mouth, you immediately attune to it.
Jacquet starts to deep throat the scepter.
Oh, I want to tune.
Oh no. Anyway, Bruce, the horn. It is. It's actually just a common magic item, but one that could be quite useful. You think? It is a horn of silent alarm. This horn has 4 charges. When you use an action to blow it, one creature of your choice can hear the horn's blare, provided the creature is within 600 feet of the horn and not deafened. No other creature hears sound coming from the horn. It regains 1d4 expended charges daily at dawn. It's a little quiet, private communication horn that you could use as a signal or a symbol or something like that.
I relay this to Jacquet and hand him back the horn. Might be useful for you if you're alone, doing stuff on your own.
Does not require
I
2
need
minutes.
help.
Oh, okay.
You don't need to deep throat this one.
No, Fjern,
Yep.
you have your own horn, but do you want a magical one?
I mean, my horn blowing is kind of like a secret talent of mine. I kind of want to share it with the world, Like, what's the point of a horn that doesn't make beautiful music?
Fair enough. I'm just, I don't know, in a giving mood at the moment, so fine, whatever, I'll keep it, he says as he puts it in his pocket.
Yeah, you're the sneaky one. That might be better for you.
Fair enough. I actually, sorry.
All right, I'm gonna go work over there. If he needs me, I'll be.
You're
sitting over
so
there.
bizarre. I did forget. I did find two other things. There's the cask of ale, which, if there's any sailors around, Jacquet goes, I brought for all of us.
You see a few of them were kind of like lurking around, seeing you all like deal with this treasure, and then also seeing the barrel, and they're like, what's that? They're like, oh, you better get that below deck before the captain sees it.
Oh, is he gonna take the contraband?
No, he just doesn't like us to drink too much, and if he sees a whole, they kind of like look it up and down, they see a whole keg like that, he's not going to be pleased. He's going to ration it.
Sal,
Oh,
grab the barrel, take it down.
You see at that point, it's just like in front of Sal, and he just sort of lifts it up and starts.
and like Jacquet's like halfway to clapping, and he goes, "Oh, Septimus, I don't think I've ever seen you speak to Sal like that."
Telling him to do a bidding of mine?
Well, it's just the way you said it. I don't know. It just reminded me of someone. A small tear rolls down Jacquet's face as he dismisses Robespierre. But I did find this journal of the late captain of our mystery shipwreck. That's why I had asked, what's his name, Septimus, about Ymir, Ilmir. Ilmir. Apparently, they came over from Gwen. They're Gwen elves. The captain was Gwen. They came over from Byzantium. I got it. It's my mind shifted to Aldhalor.
Mm-hmm.
Byzantium. It seems like they were dealing with some otherworldly powers on their journeys. Something about magic in this Ilmir, elven god. I don't know if anyone wants to look through it more. The last few pages are pretty illegible and useless, but I did want to note actually, sailors who are around, do you happen to have coordinates for this shipwreck?
I suppose a captain could draft up a quick navigational chart for you, even just maybe a small map of the bay.
That would be fantastic. And have any of you ever heard of a shipwreck like this before?
Truthfully, no. We've been sailing this bay for a while now, and we just have not run into this particular reef, which is very strange, truthfully. And then they kind of goes, and then kind of like looks at you all with like the narrow eyes of a sailor suddenly thinking about luck in a superstitious way.
It's still daytime, right?
Yeah. It's probably getting into the afternoon at this point. It's like 3 o'clock.
After Jacquet offered the journal, I was like, no, that's quite all right. We've had enough distractions for now. That being said, I'll go inform the captain that we're ready to depart. We must make for Stoney Heath. It's been too long. But before, I'll ask for a location of exactly where on the bay. Septimus will head to the cabin or deck or wherever the captain may be.
The cabin. Actually, no, he would be on the top deck by the wheel.
Or the wheel. Or the
whatever it's called. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, you're able to let him know. He gets the sailors back into working mode. They kind of actually really appreciated having a little break for the day to recover a little bit from sort of the late night excursion of combat that they had to kind of experience. So everyone seems like very excitable, despite the fact that it's pretty cloudy out right now, to the point when it's looking like there may be, at least for the last day of your journey, pretty stormy seas. But you're getting close enough to the shore that it will at least be a short journey through a storm. But as you go through the afternoon, slowly but surely, the rain would start to fall, heavier and heavier and heavier, and the waves would start to get a little more tumultuous as the boat would start to be up and down, left and right, up and down. Some of you, it might be soothing. Some of you might be holding it together by very little. Some of you might be extremely disoriented, like Bruce. Maybe not sick, but like, I don't know where I am ever. What's going on?
Be below deck.
I'd be below deck with the lolly rock.
Trying to attune to the staff. I can.
I also imagine in these situations, Bruce like lays himself out flat on surfaces to get as much surface area as he can.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm on the deck. I like stormy seas. So I'm
Would you like to be helping or just on deck?
Sure. Yeah, no, I'll help.
Fearon is also on deck, but he is not helping, and he just actually looks very nervous.
Mm-hmm. And Jacquette, who are you?
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm doing my best to further repair the ever-smoking bottle.
No problem.
Jacquette's below deck. He's attuning to the doorway scepter. But he also wants to spend an hour with Almina's necklace that she had bartered, because she had seemed to indicate that there might be some kind of magicalness to it. So he wants to just suss that out.
Absolutely. And I will give you that after the break, because I do have notes on what that is, but it is, you do find it is magical.
Oh.
Similarly, just to keep in inventory of all things that tingle a little when you hold them. Fear, that sword you collected from the Sauhagen is also tingles in your fingers when you hold it, and not just because it's sharp on the not just because it has sharp shark teeth embedded in it.
Sweet.
Okay.
I'll attune to that if I've got time. I probably won't right now. I'm too nervous.
So first of all, you guys have 24 hours. You're going to be getting there the next morning, or a little less than 24 hours.
Okay.
So you have a lot. Like if you have any like extra items that need attunement, you can try attuning to those.
I think at this point, because we're bored, or Bruce is bored, I think I might finally attune to that.
Oh, the Stone of Luck?
Yeah.
Evil. It's not evil.
It's not evil. It's a Stone of Luck.
Tool. Yeah.
It's a Stone of Luck.
Evil.
You never attuned to the all-purpose tool?
No, I never did.
Bruce is gonna get a power jump in one in one couple hours. Okay. All right. So, Sass, for a large part of the night, you are helping the sailors out with keeping the ship afloat and moving and a rigging set. It's actually quite a busy going into the evening, as it is a pretty harsh storm, actually. So much so that you are immediately concerned, though, about getting to Stoney Heath. Not all in one piece, but Stoney Heath is a very rocky cliffside bay that you all learned, so it's not exactly one that is friendly to docking during a storm. You might find yourself a little stuck until the storm's clear to get onto the docks themselves. And if you wish, you can relay that to the rest of the group later tonight when you're all together.
I will do that.
as the rest of you are attuning to these items, Bruce, as you're attuning to the Stone of Good Luck, surprise! It's a Stone of Ill Luck!
Oh,
no!
Oh no! What am I to do?
Does
Septimus,
he know that though?
You actually wouldn't know until your first roll with it. No, you just like weirdly. Cursed items are weird. You just don't know until like you sort of start to realize something bad's happening, or someone tells you that it's cursed, or you like try to unattune from it and it doesn't let you. Those are like the three reveals of it. Stone of Ill Luck is a real item, so you can.
Got it.
Good thing you got that multi-purpose tool to offset that penalty a little bit.
Yeah, because it is a -2 penalty to ability checks and saving throws.
Oh my god!
Until the curse is discovered.
Technically,
I wasn't supposed to tell you, but because you guys knew, like, technically I'm supposed to secretly reduce it. But you guys got the evidence. You just you got the insight check when you found the letter to let you know that this is cursed. And this is actually something though. This is important, Bruce. You feel. If anyone were to say, hey, give me that stone, or let me see that stone, you would be incredibly unwilling to be parted with it. You don't want to be parted with this stone ever. Until the curse is broken, it must stay on your person. To the point when you believe that you will be unlucky if you're parted with this stone.
Oh, all right. I can't ever surmise that from... Like, Bruce attunes to it because like, all right, what is luck? Bullshit. All right. I guess I'll attune to it anyway and see what happens. But like over time, I can't surmise. Be like, oh, I've been like pretty unlucky lately.
No, I would allow like at certain points for us to do a few checks for that, or if someone else notices you being very cagey about the stone. I like to imagine it's like at first Bruce is like, this thing, hunk of junk, attuned, whatever, and then like over time, as you're like, even as your rolls start to get worse from it, you're just sort of like, it's because I'm not appreciating the stone enough, or I left the stone in my backpack. I must that must be the problem. Okay. Alrighty. So, where were we after that? Oh, everyone else is attuning to their stuff. Yes. So you're able to successfully do that.
Were you gonna say something about me?
I was just gonna say, Septimus, through your waves of nausea, you are able to attune to the Staff of Healing. All right, I think we'll actually take an early break.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Since we're in kind of like a transition point, we'll take a short break now, everyone. We'll come back in 5 or so minutes and continue on to Stoney Heath. All right, please stick around with us. We'll see you all shortly. See you soon.
Okay, bye.
Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody, to Adrift in Aldhalor. Our heroes have just acquired a significant amount of bounty, treasure, whatever you wish to call it, magic items, as well as some scrap and some interesting doodads and silver and gems and relics and all that fun stuff, organized by Sass. As they are now setting sail for Stoney Heath through a pretty heavy storm. Say we're coming back together. It's around 9:30 in the evening. As Sass, everyone would kind of, for the first time since this earlier afternoon, come back together below deck by your bunks. Any planning or anything before potentially going to sleep, or someone maybe going and gambling and drinking confiscated booze? You all. Sass arrives soaking wet from the rain outside.
It's fucking storming outside. Jesus. I mean, Crescent Heart.
Jesus is canon, remember? Yeah, I hear you. No signs of eyeless, though.
No, it's just the see. I mean, it's exhilarating. It's very exciting to be up there in the storm. But, whew. How's everyone doing?
No,
Cool.
Nobody
cool,
looks happy.
Great, wonderful, excellent. Do you all like your stuff?
Yes. I think we got quite the good haul here, if I do say so myself.
I must say, I'm pretty satisfied.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did a good job sharing.
Yeah. This is my fucking specialty. I did this for a long time.
Bruce is just gonna, while she's talking, just open the cork of the ever-smoking bottle, and then close it back. And then just keep doing it.
What you're doing?
I don't know. It's kind of fun watching the smoke.
It's a very unsightly habit to have, Bruce. You don't want to pick up smoking, trust me.
It burns my nostrils a bit.
Yeah, mine too, but... Alright, I'll leave that closed for now.
Well, I'm exhausted. I'm gonna go to bed, guys.
Yes, the sooner we get on land, the better I'll feel too.
Yeah,
to
me
try
too.
to get some shut eye.
I think I'm just gonna go stretch my legs a little, See if I can't find some sailors gambling and drinking some confiscated booze. Okay.
As you, Jacques, as you start to walk away, hey.
Yes?
Hi. Shit, what was I going to say? Are we good? Like, are you still pretty pissed off at me?
Saskia, you took what little trust I give to anyone on this plane of existence, and you crushed it in your hand and threw it in my face.
Right. So I guess that's a no, then. All right, have fun with your confiscated booze and your gambling. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
He, as she turns to leave, he goes to, say something. He's like,
Yes? I turn around after this when I hear that.
No, I was...
Oh, right, okay. That's all right. I'll just, I don't know, I'll work harder, I guess. I thought maybe giving you a bunch of shiny stuff might help. Because I know you like shiny stuff. I know you like... I'm really sorry, okay? I didn't...
Saskia, my family gave me a lot of shiny things. Coin, wealth, beyond anything I'm sure you could ever imagine. That's not always the best way to a person's heart. I appreciate it. I do. Don't get me wrong. I really was working up a bit of a bill, getting some of these magic items before we left out. But,
Well, then what can I do, Jacques? What's...
Oh, you can keep giving me some silver and gems.
You just told me that's a very shallow thing to do. What can I do to earn that tiny little bit of trust back that I won't squish and crush and throw back in your face again?
Just respect me. I don't think I asked for much. Look, I understand.
Maybe a little bit. Can I be a little bit honest?
Please.
You make it very hard to respect you. When you're constantly talking down to other people, it's hard. Respect is mutual. You can't earn respect by putting other people down. That's just my 2 silver pieces. But
Jacques looks very thoughtful at this, and he is, he's being Jacquet, and he's very he's leaning on his new cane, and he just does look too full of himself. And just like the way that he's like musing on this.
It's like you're posing for a portrait.
Yeah. But then it's like the spell is broken, and he, hoists up the cane and goes, "You're not wrong, Saskia. So how about we say this?" And he like makes a line, imaginary line, like on the deck of the floor. Mm-hmm. He goes, "There's a line between us now. And if you don't cross it with me in what I consider disrespecting my wishes, I won't cross it with you in talking down to you. How does that sound?"
I think I can live with that. Shall we shake on it?
He reaches out his hand.
As they're about to shake, Fearn throws a pillow at Gloveless and says, "Can you keep it down? We're trying to sleep here."
My apologies. As he shakes her hand.
Give it a brisk shake. I will pop my pearl back in my mouth, and I will turn around to go sleep.
And as he walks away, the sound of his cane clink, clink going against the deck of the ship. He goes, "But if you want to keep throwing me extra silver and gems, please, by all means."
Throw another pillow.
He dodges this one.
That's mine.
Actually, Mage Hand blocks it.
Okay. So, Jacquet, you retire to gamble and drink. Everyone else is packing it up for the evening. Is there anything else anyone would like to do tonight? Other than just play with your new toys and go to sleep. I forgot to mention this when you attuned to the headband, Fearn.
Yes.
But it's also cursed. No.
Right.
No, but
You're now 2 intelligence.
They already had 2 intelligence. Joke's on you.
The way you were trying to stretch it earlier to fit your head, as soon as you attuned to it, you almost might even been taken aback by this, but the headband shaped itself. But it didn't shape itself as just sort of a band around your head. It sort of shaped itself as sort of a point here where the gem is, and then the wiring of it kind of went up and wrapped itself around your horns in a way that fits quite comfortably.
Cool.
All right. You all find some rest in the shaky, rocky boat as you hear some cracks of thunder and rain leaks in from the rooftop, and it is wholly uncomfortable. Sass might be the only one who gets a good night's sleep, but everyone, and Fearn because he's very tired. But Jacquet, you can join with the other sailors to do a little bit of fun, a little hanging out, and a little drinking of the confiscated beer. Now,
I think here. Oh, sorry.
No,
you have
go ahead.
something?
No, go ahead.
Jacquet would be regaling the sailors with the tale of our exploration and the attack by this Sahagin. Of course, making it seem a little more threatening than it actually was. And there were 10 of them surrounding us. But I thought with my quick wit, and I said, "All right, gang, split up and search for weakness in their armor." And he would talk about Sarud the Young.
Mm-hmm.
This crazy. It was like a dragon turtle. Are you familiar? Of course, you're all familiar with dragon turtles. But this one was more serpentine, had a long neck and almost slithered about.
You see one of them would be like, I think I've heard of that before. My dad was into all that stuff. He told stories about dragon turtles. Said they used to be masters of the sea before the great storm came. Now, anytime I see him, I mean, he's a crazy old fool. Can't sail anymore. Send him silver every now and then. Keep him going. But he used to babble on and on about sea turtles the size of cities under the water. He said your ship would get stuck on their backs as they surfaced, or they'd surface for so long that they slowly grew vegetation on their backs and trees and whole villages of people who just one sudden day would just sink into the ocean as it decided it wanted to go for a nice-looking snack. Dreadful things. Always thought he was lying.
Well, they may have been wiped out by the storm, but as with all things in nature, they found a way. That was rough. I apologize.
I know, it sounded great. It sounded like a quote of something important. I liked it.
Thank you, my friend. And your name is?
Finds a way. Malcolm.
Malcolm. Well, are you gonna bet or fold?
Shut! I forgot we were playing. Your stories, they're so convincing, so lovely. All right. Yeah, I'm in.
No, that actually happened.
Really? You guys were down there for what, an hour? You fought 10 shark people, met a god dragon turtle thing, and
I never said anything about gods. He definitely did not look like a god, I'll tell you that much.
All right. Well, I suppose we did see a bunch of those shark people attack the ship. All right. Well, you convinced me.
Fantastic. Now hold your hands a little closer to your deck or your chest. I can see your cards.
Oh, shit. All right. So the sailors continue to be enamored by your stories. If only one slightly more inquisitive one was a little distrusting at first, but then convinced by your charm.
Oh, shit.
Fucking kill him. I put the pale tincture in his drink.
No. Oh no.
But you do sip from the cask of barnacle ale, and it does not turn you to stone.
Damn it. I was really hoping for a fun side quest.
Turns you into barnacles.
It is incredibly sour, though. Like just sour enough where you're like, I could still drink this, but to the point where you're like, this was almost, maybe I shouldn't be drinking this. It does have a nice little after buzz to it, though. Like it's almost like has a kombucha like carbonation to it. So it is kind of nice after you have a few. Like at first it's like, this is vinegar. And then eventually you're just kind of like, maybe I'm okay with this. But Jacquette, you do sense a faint magic to it, though, still. Even though you're not experiencing any effects right now, there is something within it. Okay. And as you continue to drink and gamble for the evening, we can would you like to gamble for some odds real quick?
Yeah, sure. I imagine we're playing cards this time, so I can't cheat my way through it.
Yeah. All right, let me roll your DCs.
So I need insight, deception, and
Intimidation.
But
I think we've played we've played that where you can switch it for gaming set.
Yes,
or
thank
tool
you.
Proficiency. Okay, so I have the first DC. If you would like to roll your insight check.
All right, insight is 16.
Easily beat it. Okay. All right, let's get that deception check.
That's a 27.
You beat it by 10. Okay, and then your tool check.
16.
All right, these sailors tonight, these lads, they're just really not on it. They're so enamored by your story. The sour beer is something new. It might be gross at first, but they're just really, really loving it. But you clean house tonight with these cards.
Hell yeah.
how much would you have bet? I know I should have asked that before we do. And granted, of course, they can only go a certain amount.
I'll say Jacquette knows the end of what they can do, and is 20 silver sound good?
Collectively, I'll say yeah. Like amongst all the sailors, you can extract a double victory out of all the sailors to bring home 40 silver. All right, Jacquette's purse gets a little heavier. Tale as old as time. As he returns to the vessel. Fearn, as you rest, I would like you to give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no. I'm not good at these, Sean. Oh, it was almost on the 20, but it landed on the 8. I got a 7 total.
Fearn, in your sleep, you begin to dream. Your eyes open and you're crunching through heavy layers of snow. As you look up and you see a mountain. But it's not the north. At least not your north. You look up and can see a temple on the side of the mountain. As you get closer, it's large. It's a temple city, one could say. And in a moment, you lose all sense of fear, and all you want is to return to this temple. And you walk and walk and walk in this dream until you reach a river passing by, rushing through a snake of darkness through this white landscape, the river. You peer into the river, your reflection, you just see the mask, the Gosu mask on your face. And you feel compelled to rise the mountain and return to this temple. Jacquette, when you step into the cabin, you can see Fearn shivering as if frozen in his sheets, shaking from this feverish cold, or fever-inducing cold, as suddenly Fearn's eyes would open wide, and the mask would come over his face, and he would stand up. In Fearn, you feel compelled to return to this temple by any means necessary. You will walk, you will swim, you will run. This mask is cursed.
Oh, shit.
Fearn, are you okay, buddy? I'm glad you like the mask, but it's a little late to be running around with it on.
No response.
You actually hear a cold breath inside the mask, and you can see cold air coming out, as if he is in a below freezing temperature.
You doing some Ray of Frost shit, man? What's going on?
Fearn grips tightly to his shabby cloak and pulls it over himself as he sits up from his cot, or I don't know, and stands directly in front of I'm assuming I'm like sleepwalking at this point.
Basically, yeah.
So I'm like just it looks like I'm like languishly walking forward, like my legs are shaking, and I'm stepping towards you in a menacing sort of struggling fashion. You can't really tell because of the mask whether I'm seething with rage or fear.
Buddy, you in there?
if you don't do anything, I just push right past you.
Hey, guys. Saskia, Septimus, Bruce.
What? Are you
Something's
drunk?
up with Fjern. Nope.
If you would all look, and if Jacquet points in the direction, Fjern is stumbling away towards the stairs to lead to the main deck.
What's going on? What's wrong?
I don't know. He just got up and he's wearing the mask I gave him. And he didn't say anything.
I've never seen him sleepwalk before. Are you sure he's not just...
Let's go see what he's doing. And Jacquet's gonna scamper up after Fjern.
And I'll go after Jacquet.
As you guys follow Fjern, first of all, the ship is rocking back and forth. You have to like especially those of you who've never or not been frequently on ships. Sass, you almost instinctually move with the ship and walk sideways like they do those videos of people on ships. As Jacquet is whoa, and Bruce is just losing it. But you all get up and
imagine
you can see
Bruce falls.
just immediately.
It just rolls. Yeah.
But you would catch up to Fjern, and he would just be standing on the top deck right now, facing a particular direction.
Door open.
Mm-hmm.
And now the wind and water is starting to pour down the stairs.
Fjern, what the fuck are you doing?
Fjern, will you at least answer us?
I'm walking towards the edge of the ship.
He's walking towards the edge of the ship, and you can notice that his cloak that he's wrapped over himself is freezing solid. The water dripping off of it is turning to icicles. He is freezing.
Do we? Does it look like he's about to go overboard?
100%.
Can I cast Eldritch Blast and use my Lance of Lethargy when I do that? Because that will slow him by 10 feet.
Sure, give me an attack roll.
Stop! You don't trust me. You don't want to go swimming in those waters when it's all stormy like that. I've done it. It's not fun. 21.
Yeah,
That'll
that'll
hit.
hit.
All right.
So
Unless I cast Shield, Sean.
not this time. It's the first time. Maybe in the future.
All right. Well, that's the first blast. So you're reduced 10 by 10 feet. Second...
Fjern, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Sure. 14.
You suddenly snap out of it, and you are freezing cold, standing on the top deck. You're shaking, as you turn, you move at all, your arms were grasping the cloak around you, and you go like this, and the cloak cracks. It's still one piece, but it's sort of cracking in that way a frozen cloth does, as you then kind of turn around and look to them, and they all can see like icicles coming out of his nose, off of his horns. As Fjern, you have no memory of any of this. The mask is gone. Yeah, it's back into its dormant state.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Why are we out here?
Fjern, you just got up, pushed me out of the way, and walked up here. You were wearing that mask I gave you.
You're just about to go
No, I
overboard.
didn't.
Yeah,
Yes.
you did.
What do you think you're doing up here?
I don't know.
You're freezing.
Maybe I fell asleep.
Look at you. No, you're so good. Just feel your nose and your horns.
There's some kind of aura of coldness that surrounded you. It was as if you were affected by something. Let's get below deck. It's very windy and cold and wet up here, Jacquet says as his fur is all standing on end.
Yeah, as you see, just a big wave strikes the front of the ship, and you can see the few night sailors who are awake, kind of rushing about. You can see they were if you guys weren't there, they themselves were what the fuck's he doing, and about to rush over to him. But you guys go down below deck, and Fjern, all you can remember is in your dream, walking in the snow in a snowy landscape that went for miles in a mountain. But that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what happened. I was just having a weird dream. It's kind of boring, actually.
Oh, well,
It'd be best if you let me take that mask off your head for a second to take a better look at it.
Can you even take it off? It's kind of... I mean, you see what happens.
I summon it and I try to like lift it off my face.
You lift it off your face and it vanishes.
I try to summon it again.
You summon it again and it comes over your face, and you take it off and it vanishes.
Shit.
Okay.
Okay.
In what is new for me, I'm gonna be very earnest and genuine here. Fjern, I am so sorry. I gave you a cursed magical item.
I summon it again, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
And then I take the shovel and I smack it on my face.
The mask pushes in onto your nose, and you all see a bunch of blood squirt out from underneath the mask. And Fear, when you take it off, the blood is all like icicles across his face.
That would
Son
be
of a
funny, man. It's
bitch.
like some Looney Tune shit. Like as he goes to smack it, it disappears in the last moment.
Oh no, I should have done that.
That's what I was hoping for.
Same effect though. The mask is undamaged. It just broke your nose basically.
If it's still on his face, what happens if I try to go grab it?
You cannot pry it off. As his head goes.
Pull harder.
Somebody gets his foot up there.
It reaches the point where Septimus is off the ground, both feet on Fearn's chest, pulling on this thing before tumbling back.
Yeah, that's I would say for sure that's cursed.
Where did you get it, Juckwit?
I know a guy.
Right.
What was the guy's name?
He was a Leonin. I want to say Dialco. That's not it.
That is from your game.
I know. That's why I'm going through my notes.
I have it somewhere.
Andres.
What's their last name though?
De Leon.
Daily. Wow. Fucking of course. Sorry. A merchant by the name of De Leon.
Ponce?
On Seabank.
No.
I knew another man with that.
Oh, is he also a Leonin?
No,
Yeah.
he was an explorer.
Oh.
Saying Leonins can't be explorers.
Well, when we get back to Hyven, I'm gonna have some words with him.
Don't worry, I'll figure out where he got this from, and if he knows anything else about its background.
Leaning over to Bruce, be like, you might want to double check those tools that he gave you as well.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how to check for curse. I know people curse him, that's kind of fucked up, but I don't know how to check for that.
Kind of fucked up.
I guess I can. I'll cast Detection of Good and Evil. Oh, I'm sorry. Detect evil and good.
Okay, so let's take a look. So your spell detects aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiend, and undead within 30 feet of you, as well as where the creature is located. Similarly, you know a place or object within 30 feet of you that has been magically consecrated or desecrated. Interesting. Okay. So two things pop up. So you would sense that Fearn's mask is not desecrated. It is consecrated. This curse may be a curse to Fearn, but to whoever cursed this mask, it might be actually protective in some way by understanding the consecrated aspect to it. Mm-hmm. Now, Bruce has in his little pocket there a desecrated statue head.
Not the tools, though.
The tools are not desecrated, but his stone of good luck, his little cat head.
I'm pulling out the tools, yeah.
Yeah, right. It's like someone be like, "Check me for this," and it's like, that's not the right thing. you would notice that Bruce is holding something desecrated, but it is not the tools.
Good news is that your tools are fine, but
great.
You have something else on your person that seems to be cursed.
What are you talking about?
It's a little smaller item, about yay big. Looks like a stone or a figurehead.
It looks like a cat head.
This stupid thing?
He pulls that out and like, yes. We got that from the temple, right?
Yeah. Yeah, when I looked at it, it was supposed to grant some good luck. So.
Yeah, the notes from the whack jobs in that temple said it was bad, though.
Well, also fighting the dark apparitions. I wouldn't have trusted that thing. You didn't attune to it, did you?
Bruce, a thought comes into your head that if you tell them you attune to it, they're going to take it away from you.
No, why would I? No, I knew it came from...
then you should probably give it to Septimus. He,
No,
seems...
it's okay. I'll hold on to it. It's okay.
I mean, before you were more than happy to give it away to me. Wait, did you know that it was cursed and you wanted to curse me? You little fucker, you did, didn't you?
No, I wouldn't do such a thing, Jekyll.
I don't know.
I'm gonna pocket this and keep it for safekeeping.
Okay, well, if we find someone we don't like, maybe we sell it to them, huh? Pull the same scam?
No, I think... No, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
All right. Well, Fjern, your mask is, I think, more of an immediate concern here.
Be careful with handling that. But then turning to Fjern, strangely enough, too, his mask isn't, I guess you would call cursed. It's more blessed. Septimus kind of like says it in like a weird way like that. The magic radiating off of it is giving... It was consecrated. Whatever this item is meant to be is something in favor of the deity or belief that is affirming it. Although it's still a bit worrisome that it almost compelled you to leave the ship.
Yeah. Why if it's so great, it's supposed to be helping me. Why?
Don't mix up my words. I didn't say it was great. It was like whoever created this item was for the betterment of whatever faith that they had. It may not be good for you, but
maybe it leads to treasure. Fjern, the space that you saw in your dream, you said it was cold and snowy?
Yeah, it was kind of like the mountains back home, but not really. It was just cold and windy, and
there's no landmarks, no large like mountain peaks or a tree or a tower that you could see.
I rack my brain to remember.
Give me an insight check. Give me an insight check. I say at the very least, well, let's see what the roll is.
13.
13. Okay. So I'll say you do remember that you did see a particularly tall mountain range, and it looked like the landscape looked like home, but this mountain was not familiar to you. And you do remember vaguely there was some sort of temple up there. You don't remember that it was a massive temple. You only remember that there was some kind of temple on the peaks.
I remember a mountain, unfamiliar, but strangely reminiscent of where I grew up. Maybe in some peaks to the east, perhaps, but I don't know. And there was something on it, like a structure of some kind. I don't know, kind of phallic. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, this phallic structure and these unknown peaks, unfortunately, may have to wait another day or 2 or week until we're back in Hyven.
In the meantime, we can't. What do we do to stop the risk of him just being a flight risk? Do we need to watch him from now on?
I could throw down an alarm spell for us whenever he gets up in the middle of the night.
Or you could tie me up.
Or actually, better yet, I think.
Would you like that?
Sal can just sit there and watch over.
Every time he starts doing this, Sal just smacks him on the head. I will say it did seem as though Sass's attack with the Eldritch Blast may have helped knock him out of this.
How much damage was that, by the way?
Oh yeah, did you roll damage?
I didn't know.
Please roll damage.
No. Okay.
Is he that close?
Oh, I only rolled a 1, so 5 points. 5 points.
Nice. And technically, I don't know if this is before or after long rest.
I will say this will not go over into the morning. You'll get your full rest, and this will be negated.
Beautiful.
And it's going to take you a little longer to get back to bed because you're slowed 10 feet.
Yes, you're a little more sluggish than you already were.
Imagine when we were going below deck, we're just sitting there waiting like...
He was so urgent before. All right. Okay. So, do you all sort of maybe tensely go back to sleep? Maybe tie Fearing up, or have Sal watch him?
Yeah,
I
we'll
will
have Sal.
instruct Sal to watch over Fearing.
Can I
instructing him specifically if you see a mask come over his face and he starts to move, just
restrain
give him a bonk. Give him a bonk.
Okay.
He gets up in the middle of the night to pee.
That's why I said.
I imagine Sal's just like
with a
standing
mask,
over
too.
his body, like really close to his face, just with his hand up like this, ready to just slam it down. You wake up and Fearon's been bludgeoned to death.
Wake up the next morning, he had to go pee. His face is caved in. I'll reiterate, when the mask is on.
Sal nods in understanding.
And also have it be a friendly.
Yes.
Tap.
He will activate non-lethal damage.
Yes.
Can I just check in with the sailors that were around to see if they need any help finishing up, and also to warn them if somehow Fearn got past Sal. I don't think he will, but just in case, just to tell them, hey, watch out for this guy with a mask on, being super cold and looking like he's about to jump ship. Come get me.
Yeah. You see the sailors stare at you, and they have like these heavy coats on with the rain out there. You see one of them with these like heavy hoods over. One of them is just sort of smoking a cigarette and just sort of.
You got that?
What do you want us to do? You want us to beat the shit out of him?
I mean, if you can't get to me, I'm just
well, we've done this before. We used to have a buddy, right? Remember a buddy? Oh yeah, Rory. Yeah. Rory used to he'd sleepwalk, and he'd go running. And
good old Rory Red Eyes.
And they passes the cigarette back. They passing the cigarette back and forth. And yeah, Rory.
Right.
I wonder what he's doing these days. Whatever happened to Rory? All right, he ran into the ocean.
Right. Well, we don't want our friend to end up like Rory, so just pass the words along. Yeah. And is there anything you need me to do before I go to bed?
As the ship just sort of,
and
and you watch these two literally just go. they just swerve with it entirely.
Yeah, me too.
I think we got it up here. Everything's good up here. And he kind of points off into the horizon, and you stare off, and you can actually see in the distance, very small, the lighthouse of Stoney Heath, by the cliffs of Stoney Heath.
Around, yeah.
If this storm doesn't clear up in the next 6 hours, what do you think? Yeah, the storm doesn't clear up in the next 6 hours. We cannot port. We're gonna have to sit in the waters until this thing.
Well, obviously, Yeah,
well, yeah, but you're telling us we are saying don't run aground, and that's why we won't run aground, because we're not going to go to port. Stony Heath's very rocky.
Right, I was
per the name.
Yeah,
you ever been there?
I
Cliffs
know.
are tall, super tall,
Yeah.
hundreds of feet tall.
Oh my goodness gracious!
And you got
just
Orcthos, the little tiny rock island. We don't want to crash into that. Yeah, he's right.
I just turn around and start walking away.
Thank you for all your help.
Yep. Good night, gentlemen.
As you just see in the silhouette of the lantern light, just sort of their bodies going like this in unison, back and forth with the ship.
They remind me of the two Muppet guys.
The Night Watchman of the Utterly Seaworthy.
Amazing.
Okay. And long rest.
Yay.
Yay.
Ooh, I mean, yay.
As Stefan's like, why aren't we all petrified?
I wanted to have fun,
We
not
level up,
playing. Level up.
No.
Mm-hmm.
You got your magic items. You got your magic items. You got your payment. Okay.
Player tax.
So you all wake up the next morning fearing you have no episodes throughout the night. And it's still quite rocky. And as you get up to the main deck, you can see that it is drizzling, that really annoying rain that just gets in your face but doesn't really do anything.
Yes.
The wind is whipping, the waters are starting to calm down, starting to level out as the sailors are prepping the ship to actually sail over to Stoney Heath. You had to stop basically an hour out to wait till the storms were subsiding enough for you to port at the Wicker Port, which is the name of the docking area. But
I'm helping.
okay. So as you're looking, though, there is an immense amount of fog all around, filling this area. You can see sort of the base of the cliffs as they're rising up, but the heights of them are concealed by this fog as you're getting closer. You could just see the light of the lighthouse piercing through the fog.
As we go into port, Fierno will probably put his summon his mask over his face and look to everyone and say, "All right, it's early. They might." At what time of day is it?
It's pretty early. It's like I'll say 7 a.m.
I suppose we can walk around, get our bearings. Maybe think of a plan. I know we have a few people we want to see when we get to port. Anybody have any suggestions or want to do anything?
Did you
Right
say you
off
put
the
the
bat.
mask on?
Yes, it's covering my face.
Sorry, Fjern, could you not?
Stop messing around with that. Clearly.
It's a little off-putting. I feel intimidated.
I figured, if we're gonna go into a new port, it's maybe not best to reveal our identities right off the bat as people from Hyven.
Fjern, no one needs to see your fucking face to know who you are, okay? I mean, you stand out like a blue thumb.
You speak for yourself, Furball.
I never claimed that I was blending in. Yet. He says and just, holds. But onto your point about the plan, I had some thoughts about what we should do.
You absolutely notice a sailor walk away disappointed as he had heard that pause, was expecting something from you after all the nights of the last 2 nights. And he went, oh, I went back to work.
It makes sense, I think, to reach out to this foreman at the mine, right? Our contract is for the mine. Let's go there first, get his side of the story.
Then from there, Reardon said that the mayor of town, I think it was a mayor, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, the mayor can inform us about the town's involvement in all this, and then we can go check in with the Aradunai. If we don't get any decent leads from any of them, then maybe we go check on Professor Nettle's apartment or house or whatever, wherever she was residing, and pursue that lead. Sound good?
Real quick.
She was said to be lost, though, wasn't she?
Plan.
Continue.
Sure, she's gone, but if we find where she was, because people in town will know where she was, we can start from that point.
Well, I do agree that we should be collecting as much information as we can.
I'm just saying that if we go straight from the dock to the foreman's place, maybe that'll look bad on us talking to the Aradunai. If they get word of that, they might not want to see us.
So do you want to go to the Aradunai first?
I'm not sure. That's why I'm asking the group, what do you think is more important?
Maybe we get a pulse on the town first, see what it's like. And I still think we should go with our contact that Professor Cadmus gave us. I think his name was Irving.
I agree. We're being paid, no matter what the situation ultimately is, being paid by the professor. So might as well go to our contact and get the information from them first.
But we can also, as we're going, we could keep an eye out on the town and see if there's any sort of protesting or other activity that's going on, and we can just
get a feel.
That's the vibe.
That's it. Yes, exactly. Yes. Thank you.
Yes, getting the vibe might be the move.
Yeah,
could be the move. Sorry, I'm already
now on.
up.
Instead of asking me for perception roll or investigation rolls, ask me for vibe check rolls.
No. So as you all are having this discussion on the top deck, you feel the ship lurch forward and begin to move as it picks up some wind. And you can see this wind is also clearing away some of the fog as you're approaching the wall of rock that is before you, that all of you haven't been here before. Thought maybe those cliffs are 100, 150 feet, 200 feet above the fog. And then the fog is clearing away. The cliffs just keep going and going and going and going. And the stony part of Stoney Heath in this general region looks to be upwards of 600 to 700 feet high.
Oh. Stoney's right, he says, elbowing whoever's next to him.
Ow.
Yeah. Quite
Why is it always Bruce?
magnificent. Wait, so then where do we... So then, wherever we dock, do we see, stairs or something?
You see two things. You see two things. You actually would hear one of them first, as it seems like people watching maybe see the ship coming in. One, you can see that there are these very small waterfalls coming out of the center of the cliffs. And is anyone with a perception check or a passive perception of 15 or higher would notice that they are not natural waterfalls. They look to be pipes, water coming out of pipes. And then you would hear as you would look and see a lift slowly being lowered from the top of the cliffs. You do see a long set of back and forth winding stairs that do go up that look like they were carved many, many years ago by the stonemasons of this place, renowned for its stonemasonry. All of which leading down to a very, very, very dinky port that has a kind of hugs the cliffs themselves with a large kind of jutting up cliff that's smaller than the rest of it, that looks like a shark fin almost coming out of the water, that has sort of creates a little channel. As you would see, there are like 3 or 4 main structures connected by wharfs and other piers sticking out from the side. It's very small. It doesn't look like it holds many ships, maybe 2 or 3 at a time, with one repairing dock for a 4th ship. They really probably only get shipments, like one shipment that is a big ass one that they unload onto the lift and bring up to the town. But your ship is slowly coming into this as you speak. There are also many what look like almost nests along the stairs that look to be made out of like wooden contraptions that look almost like wicker baskets. One might guess they're to catch people who fall while climbing the very tight, narrow stairs that go all the way up to the top, if there are people who choose to take the stairs instead of waiting for the lift. Which, as you're approaching, does seem to take a very long time to get to the bottom and then back up to the top. As the ship comes around and slowly pulls up next to one of the old piers, and the ship gets tied off, the gangplank gets dropped, and you have arrived to Wickerport in Stoney Heath.
I shake the Captain Gladys's hand as I deport the ship, just to, say thanks once again.
Yeah, Galdus would be there to kind of say the goodbyes. He's like, well, we were contracted to bring you back as well, so we'll probably stick around town, do our own thing. Take your time. University's paying, or stay here.
Thank you again, Captain. Will you be staying down on the docks, or will you be up in town?
We'll probably go back and forth, but we'll probably, depending on how we feel, stay on the ship most nights. But if there's a nice tavern up there, maybe we'll take a day. Depends on how long you're here.
Fair enough.
Some of us don't really like the tavern, stylings, mostly just because they don't want to pay. Do you think we could get lodging on the ship?
If you're trying to save some coppers, you can stay in your bunks on the ship in the evenings. You just might not want to wait for the lift or climb down those stairs, especially if you had a few drinks.
I nudge Sea Witch, say, looks like you got a bunk here.
I appreciate that, Fearon. And don't tell anyone, but if you don't feel like walking, I can get us up to that real quick. To the top of that real quick.
Oh, how?
That was clearly a stage whisper.
Never mind. Jacquet is over.
I didn't say anything, Jacquet.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
I just give a curt nod and smile.
Almina's kind of like up at the front of the ship, and she just sort of watches you all as you leave and gives you all a little salute.
As he's passing by her, Jacquet does a little turn, still using his cane as he walks, and he goes and gesturing with it towards her and goes, "Be careful heading up to the tavern up there. They might. I don't know." He makes some quip about gambling and not losing all her silvers.
Who are you talking to?
I love the party's just detriment to Jacquet's charisma at some points. But she does give you a wink, Jacquet, and nods as she returns to work.
I kind of look as when she gives everybody the salute, I kind of do it back, trying not to be really obvious that I'm looking for some sort of approval. Did I do a good job? Was I helpful? Are we friends? Kind of thing.
She gives you a smile. Take that as you would. take as Sass would. As you're kind of like the last one she salutes, and she kind of turns and smiles, looks back for a second, and gets back to work yelling at someone.
I walk off with a little bounce in my step.
Okay. Even you would have recognized this the night before, but it is a lot colder here. I mean, it's further north than Hyven, and you notice a distinct shift in temperature. I mean, it's not snowing or anything here, but you're getting closer and closer to the freezing temperatures. There's a lot of wind, especially if you're taking as you rise up on the lift or the stairs, whichever way you go. And everything is just like wet and cold here. It's a very uncomfortable, rocky cliffside.
I didn't dress appropriately.
Fearn is literally, it completely unfazes him. And looks to everyone and says, all right, I suppose we should get to that elevator, right? It's early, maybe we can catch a ride quickly.
For sure.
Captain.
I will not be taking the stairs, and I don't think Sal here would be able to climb all those.
Could you imagine Sal just down the entire way?
Right.
When you
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, when you get to the lift, you would see there is sort of this, probably in his early 20s, leaning on the side of the lift that has just sort of a small swinging doors to it that lock with a very simple latch, like literally a hook latch. Little ceiling. It's as minimal safety as possible, basically. There's just enough of a fencing to lean on, but it's not super nice. Metal grate floor to it. As this person just sort of leans on the side of it and goes, "Oh, that'll be a copper to go up. Each."
We're here
Oh,
to
that's it.
see.
Here you go.
We're here to see the warden. Special business for the academy.
What warden? You mean the mayor?
Sorry. Not warden, not mayor. Shit. What was it? Foreman?
Oh, the foreman. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, he'll be in the offices around this time. Since there's nothing going on at the mines these days. Yeah. Irving will be around there. If you want to see the mayor, he'll be in town hall, probably. I suppose. Any other questions you all got? You're obviously not from around here. I've never seen you. I know everyone in this town.
Where can you buy clothes?
Clothes?
Something
Aye.
warm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Old Betty, she's got a shop that sells warm clothes.
Betty.
Yeah, old Betty's shop. It's gonna have a set of shares on the outside. On the sign. I won't see a name on it, but you'll see the shares. Any other questions? Again, I know everyone in this town.
Oh, you know everyone.
He's looking around to each of you, scanning your faces like this dull, like very NPC. Just seems to like clearly like. I mean, he might be lying, but he seems to be scanning you to remember your faces.
You don't know me.
What's your name?
Would I?
I know you now.
Do you? I
Yeah.
look at him. I stare deeply into this man's eyes.
Horned fella? Tattoos? Bald? Yeah, I know you. White eye.
Jacques steps between Fjord and this individual and offering a copper to then step on to make casual conversation as we're going up the lift.
Yeah.
Jacques goes, my name is Jacques Touchard, and we here are the adventuring party Iron and Mana.
Jacques Touchard. All right,
And
I
who
know
are
you
you,
now.
my friend? You know everyone, but does anyone know you?
I never heard that before. It's a good one.
mouthing to the rest of them, like, what do you mean never heard that before?
Yeah, this man is just slightly off. You get the feeling he does not leave this lift much during the day while working it.
Oh, jeez.
Name's Colm.
Comb? Was it?
Colm. Name's Colm. Colm.
Like rows and columns?
Colm. Name's Colm.
Well, Colum, if you know everybody in town, do you also know things about them?
I hear lots of things on the lift. People think unless I talk to them that I'm not listening. But I'm telling you, I'm listening.
Do you like to share the things you hear with interested people?
It depends on your interest. Is it casual? Gossip? Chatter about town? Or are you looking for something more spicy? Something that might cost a little extra?
Jacquette flicks a silver up and catches it, and he goes,
I'm of the spicy variety.
Before you can ask him any questions, as soon as you get that, he gets that coin. He goes, I heard that Lucy from down in the alleyway over by Maker Street. I heard that she is putting sawdust in her bread.
No, really?
That's right, sawdust in the bread. You don't get a lot of grain shipments from down there. Of course, she makes all the bread in town.
And have you tasted it?
It's always been shite.
Well, maybe she's just a shite baker, huh?
That's what I says. But then suddenly someone else tells me that she's got all the grain she needs. She's just getting silvers out of folk. Which, truthfully, I can respect as a lift manager.
Ah, so you're also a manager of this lift.
Oh, that's right. My family's managed the lift for years.
What happens if it breaks?
Then my family fixes it. We're under contract, you see.
But what if it breaks at the top? Like, has anyone ever died being a lift manager?
Aye. Me pappy. Fell right down.
It's just like looks at Fear and just like gives him a look. It's like, stop asking these questions right now. Wait till we get off.
So, Colm, any other spicy gossip? Maybe about the, we've heard tell the protests going on in town by a faction calls himself the Ardunai?
Oh, that's right. That's right. I heard about that. I've seen some things about that. Town's all in a bit of a tiff about it. Yeah. See, some folks tending to agree with the Ardunai about the destruction, I guess, of the landscape, the natural rockiness. Vatros cliffs are sacred or something. But I don't know about it. I'm just lift manager. And I reckon if the mines ain't mining, then I ain't seen coppers.
Well, it has to be more than that. I mean, these mines have been operating here for how many years now? I feel like they must have found
a generation.
Something that really struck. Exactly. So maybe they found something that really sparked such upheaval.
Well, that's the rumors, eh? They say they find something shiny in there. Something that old I don't know what to call them. Old cats at the university. Sorry.
I'm not a cat. I'm a tabaxi. There's a very distinct difference between us.
You sure about that?
Yes. I think I would know a thing or two. Being a tabaxi.
That's fair. I apologize.
Tabaxi's created, though.
The gods created all creatures, right?
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
By the hells and celestials, I swear with you people.
I haven't been to the temple in many years, not since my pappy died. But
okay. Going back, you said they found something shiny that the bigwigs is a better term I think you should use.
Oh, that's the word. Oh, thank you.
I think you were looking for the fat cats, but that's more concerning corporations and large guilds. Bigwigs are generally aristocrats that tend to get involved.
Yeah. Fat. All right. Oh.
So the academics are interested in the shiny things found in the mines.
Yes. Yeah, not the silver, obviously. But, yeah, there's something I found down there, and I suppose it's just useful. I don't know. I heard that they infiltrated the Miners Guild.
Who did?
Oh, the Araduna. How do you think they got down there? At least that's what I heard. Coming up the lift with some people coming to investigate. And it sounds like either they infiltrated it by, I don't know, stealthy means or whatever you might call it. Reconnaissance. Is that a word?
It is. Yeah, I don't know if it's being properly used here, but that's beside the point.
But anyway, they got in there somehow. Some people think, though, that the miners just had a little change of heart upon finding this thing. And the Aradunai heard about it, or they contacted the Aradunai. You'd have to talk to Irving about more on that. They're keeping the real tip-top shape up there, not really telling anything, I hear. So I've only heard this from rumors coming up and down the lift from people of interests. I suppose Mayor Atticus might know a bit more. Or his son Vaughn, who used to be good friends with Irving, I heard.
What was the rumor that you heard?
Which rumor?
Of what this shiny thing was.
Oh, well, I don't know much about what it was, because no one who's gone in has come out of the mines to tell us, other than the representative from the Aradunai, who will not tell us what it is. I think Irving might know, though. And he's keeping it a real secret. He must know. Imagine, he's a foreman, man.
Wait. People going in the mine don't come back out? What are you talking about?
The Aradunai keep him. I don't know if they're keeping him hostage or they're joining the Aradunai.
Final question, because I imagine at this point we're at the top of the lift and we're just sitting there talking to this guy.
I'll actually say no. This lift is very slow. Like it's almost to the point that when you're out of questions, it's gonna be painful to be here with him.
Okay. Yeah. So Jacques goes, final question. Maybe not. There was an academic that was had come here. Professor. I should have.
Diana Nettle.
Yes, thank you, Saskia. Diana Nettle.
Oh yeah, old Di. Yeah, she came up and down the lift a lot. She was a very sweet old lady. I haven't seen her in a while.
About how long?
It must be like 4 months maybe now. I used to see her every week because she had a lot of shipments she would send off on the. She'd send off on the post. But no, she was a very sweet woman. She lived outside the village, though.
Do you know whereabouts?
Yeah, she lived. There's an old. We used to have a lumber camp not too far away that we don't really operate anymore. Found better grounds to get the timber we need. So she's kind of settled in the remains of that forest there. It's what is it? It's the one to the south of the village, or not really south, west along the coastline, or along the cliff side. You eventually reach it. It's about a half day's walk past some of the old abandoned farms.
Do you remember the last few times you saw Di? What she was doing?
Yeah, she was talking a lot with Irving and them in the mines about what was going on in there. She might have even been talking about whatever the hell they were finding. But I don't know, it was about that time that 4 months ago is around the time some of the discontent started. And there were some questions about what's going on in the mines. It took a little while for it to escalate. It was very gradual, you see, until suddenly it kind of blew up all at once. Started seeing more Dunai in town. Miners started not showing up for shifts, complaining about work. Irving had a lot on his hands. And I think Di was working with Irving, and well, I just didn't see her again.
Wow, you really have your fingers on the pulse of this town, don't you, Colm?
I told you, I know everybody in this town. And everybody uses the lift unless they're going by wagon out of here.
You know,
I don't have... Go ahead.
A former mayor, Albert.
Albert?
Some sort of town leader.
Mayor Albert?
Yeah.
He's not in power anymore, man.
Right. But, I mean, you see him around?
Hey, he hobbles about. Near town hall. Thinks he's still part of it, you know. But no, it's Mayor Leos. Atticus Leos. He's in charge now. I mean, there ain't nobody in this town who's not involved, man, with the town hall. When, you're from Stoney Heath, you call this place home, you set roots, you're part of it. You get your say.
What if, say, someone gets sent away? What's the word I'm looking? Expelled. Exiled.
If you're exiled, you ain't got no roots here anymore.
Well, what's it take to work in the mines nowadays?
Hey, you could definitely get a job in there. Look at those muscles, man. But
no, right?
Prefer to hire local, but if you were to make a investment in Stoney Heath, purchase property here, they'd probably give you priority to work in the mines. But depending on how these protests go, they might be in desperate need of miners, so they might hire you up if these others quit whatever they're doing, if they're joining these Aradunai, whatever they all about. If you're looking for jobs, is that what you came here for? Work?
Yeah, in a way.
Alright, well, if I'm going to give you any last advice, as we're about 5 minutes from the top, if you're going to stay in a tavern here while you're visiting, don't stay in the Rat's Cup. It might be tempting for the prices. It might be tempted for, the entertainment. But it's not very clean. The entertainment is even worse. But it's cheap. If you're looking to not spend much coin, if you only got coppers on you, the Rat's Cup's where you want to go. Now, Hungry Fool's not so bad. Cleaner. Still cheap, but not as cheap. If you're really looking to have a decent time, you want to go to the Hero's Scroll. We haven't had adventurers, if I'm assuming that's what you are, based on all these swords on you.
I told you we're Iron and Mana. Hyden's actually premier first sanctioned adventuring party.
How could I forgot? Oh, you're so right.
I don't know. You should know everything about everyone in town.
This is embarrassing. But you know what? You haven't gotten to town yet, so I'll never make that mistake again once you step off this lift. But anyway,
you better ask us a few questions too, because you only know 2 out of 5 of us.
And sorry, just a clarification: is the port not considered part of town?
Yeah, for the purpose of this conversation, it's not.
Okay, but like tax purposes.
Yeah, it is part of town.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to double check. And voting rights, are they still allowed to vote?
Yeah. Cliff dwellers get to vote. There's only a couple people live down there anyway. But yeah, what are your names? As he looks to the rest of you. Saskia. All right, I know you now.
Bruce.
Pleasure.
Septimus. Bruce, I know you now.
That's Sal.
Oh. How did I not notice you, big fella? Yeah, I guess, would you have put Sal in his disguise?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. And you see Colum kind of like squints his eyes. Hey, that's pretty spooky mask you got on there, fella. Big one. Good for the mines as well, if you're looking for work.
It's my companion, Sal. He doesn't talk much.
It's all
Jacques
right.
leans down and whispers to Colm, "They're lovers."
Oh, all right. Lovely. Excellent. I can see the attraction. All right, then. And that's about it, folks. You want to go back down another copper? I'll see you all soon, I'm presuming. But if you go to the hero's scroll, tell him Colm sent you. It gives you a wink.
Yeah, maybe you'll meet us there. I'll treat you to a drink, and you can tell me about how your dad died.
Well, it's not that long of a story, man. He fell off.
Good story. Thank you, Colm.
But who fixed the lift?
As you do that, he says he fell off. You all like step off the lift and feel it like shake a little bit, and there's like a gap between the cliffside and where the lift ends as you leap across. Not leap, like step. It's a step gap, not a huge one.
It's a leap for Bruce.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
especially as
terrifying.
Bruce can't really at first see what. But anyway, when you get to the town itself, though, it's got an interesting structure. This immediate area that you get into first is Stoney Heath is often called the Little Amphitheater due to its tiered settlement, leading to a town circle in the center. You can see these people who have been renowned for generations for their stonemasonry appear to have cut their homes from the cliffs themselves. And like it almost looks like the village itself is a giant amphitheater that comes down gradually to a central circle, where you can see there is a right now has somewhat flooded from the rain, but that you can see is being sucked down whirlpools that you presume are those pipes that lead out to this cliffside. As you can see, it's this large circular amphitheater of tiered steps that are large enough to have homes on them. The homes at the top tier their foundations are carved from the cliffside, but they have wooden structures built on top of that. But some of the buildings closer to the center are very fine stone cut buildings directly into the cliffside itself. Some of it holding natural edifices of actual cliffside and rock organic shapes, while others are boxed, cut with carvings throughout. Generally, one big circle for this first district of the town. As you can see, people wandering to and fro. It's fairly densely populated. There's a lot of people here and there moving about. They seem, since it's the early morning, like people are getting ready to go to work. But then you also see some people just sort of leaning against buildings, gathered in groups. You might surmise that with the mine being closed, some work has halted.
Any visible colors or specific markings on people around the town? Identifying like guilds or something along those lines?
Give me a perception check.
I think Bruce would probably take out Lolly Rock and start seeing through the bird's eyes at this point.
I got a 5.
Okay.
Well, I suppose to get right down to this thing, we need to head over to the mines, get ourselves in there as quickly as possible.
Bruce, can you give me a perception check for Lollyrock?
What do you think?
Sure. All right, minus. That'd be a 5.
Okay, so you're not going to see anything specific, but I'm going to give you the general layout of the town. With if you have Lollyrock flying up. So I'll probably make you guys a better map because I just drew a quick one for myself today. But it's this large central district is this big circle. You can see it. It has 3 main streets that kind of are full circles going through with little alleys going between them. With 3 main tiers that maybe have some micro tiers within them or courtyards that are dug into them. Fairly densely built in the outer tier. And then it gets less dense as you go towards the middle, where the central circle, which is flooded right now, seems to be kind of the town square. It has the ability to probably be where they meet to discuss things, to vote on things, something like that. To the north east, there is a clear road that goes up to a smaller circle of tiered structures. That looks like the buildings are much larger there. Maybe this is where more civic buildings are, as well as maybe homes for those who are a little bit more wealthy. And then there's a road that leads from that connects with a road from the main circle that goes up to the mining portion of the town, which is the only part that's not like this style. Like they don't carve things from stone. Everything is very like cheap wooden structures, temporary or were meant to be temporary and now are permanent despite their lack of quality. As well as you can see the entrance to the mines, which is a lift that goes underground.
I mean, we're still going to see the warden, right?
You keep saying warden. Foreman.
Yeah,
Foreman.
sorry.
There's no prisons here.
Bruce, you imagine the offices for the foreman are at that the mining facility area.
It's probably over there, that direction. As Bruce is like holding on to somebody. It's probably a stranger.
He doesn't even know who it is.
You see, there's this person like Sass. You noticed this. Like Bruce probably thought he grabbed Sass, but it's just this stranger who's just sort of like, "Hey, whose kid is this?"
Sorry, mine. Sorry, it's mine. Sorry.
Hey,
come on, come along.
You better keep him close. He looks a little lost.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. You see the guy just kind of like stares at your whole group. It's like, freaking tourists.
When he does that, Jacquette like kind of walks up a little and does a little, almost gesturic. He's gesturing with his cane and he goes, Iron and Mana, my friend. Ivan's premier adventuring party.
Yeah, all right. You looking for the hotel? So past the the main tiers and over in the small town. Yeah, it's where the tourists stay if you want to do that. I know the cliffs are nice. They're lovely. They're lovely around this time of year. But yeah. And he kind of looks you up and down, looks at the cane and everything.
And Jacquette mimics his look up and down and goes, okay, you don't be so fucking rude or you might lose some tourism. Fucking
Hey, I'm sorry, man. I'm out of work for a couple months now, all right? A little testy when I see folk like you coming from the south or wherever, the east,
maybe folks
Midlands.
like me will help you get back to work if you just learn to respect people.
Hey, man, you know what? You came in here, as he's getting up into Jacquette's face. You came in here, man. I don't even fucking know you. It's early in the morning. It's 7:30. I'm just trying to get a fucking coffee.
I'm sorry, sir. Sorry.
And your little boy there is pulling on my leg.
It was an accident.
What do you call
Everybody,
a little boy?
we just...
We're a full-grown adult, thank you very much.
Fearn pushes everyone aside as start some shit. I fucking dare you.
All right.
Get your ass
My
coffee.
God. What is the matter with you? Just please, it's not worth it, sir. Please just go about your day.
You hear from about 10 feet away, Colum being like, "Aye, Nathaniel, leave them alone. They're new. They're not tourists. They got work here. They're good." This guy just sort of looks at you all and just, whatever. And he gives a big middle finger to, not you guys, to Colum for some reason. He's like, "Aye." As you hear, the lift starts to go down
There it goes.
as this guy wanders off.
I guess that's one of the 2 people that live down there.
Nice people around here.
Jacquet clocks Nathaniel. It is just like, all right.
Remember what we talked about, Jacquet? How respect is
Okay, I was just trying to introduce us, and that guy was throwing shit my way. Okay, he disrespected me, so I'm gonna bury him in the fucking dirt.
Sometimes you've got to just pick your battles and be the bigger person, yeah?
I pick all my battles because I fucking win them all.
All right.
For your
You gotta
reference,
hang up
Jacquet.
with us if
Ever
you wanna be
beneath
the
you,
bigger person.
Jacquet?
He rubs his foot in the dirt and he goes,
Just the earth beneath my feet.
Clearly.
All right, like I said, guys, performance that way.
Great,
So-
thanks, Sweepers.
And you can easily enough follow the outer ring of the town. Bruce, you can kind of guide everyone. It'll lead to that road that leads up to the mining facility. Basically, like the town, because it's tiered and dug into the actual cliffside, you can see they have a really like Bruce, this is the thing that you notice most as you're walking through, is they have a very, very well-designed drainage system throughout this tier that goes down into that central pot, essentially, and then drains out through their pipes. It's like, this place is, I imagine, and it's up to you, but I imagine would be fairly fascinating to Bruce, given its like unique building and architecture structures, and just the ability of these people, their stone masonry abilities, is quite extensive. As you're approaching, you go around the outer street and can look up and head up sort of these carved stairs that lead up to a flattened area where you can see all these buildings for the mine. You can also see beyond the mine, now that you're up here, and maybe you can even have Lollyrock flying around. There also seems to be other projects, like you see a large quarry, and they may be doing other work to maybe shore up their investments, but also the town generally seems to have an investment in stone. Not clay, but stone. And yeah, in the attitude around this part of town is very lazy, in the sense that like people are just sort of like don't know what to do with themselves. You can see someone at clearly what is like the mining town shop, the company shop, who's just sort of leaning against a stall with the front window opened up to a general store. You can see a smithy shop where the smith is just sort of sitting there, like hammering at like the last bits of metal that he has. And you can see a large building that has postings out front with different pamphlets that are drying up. It seems to be the foreman's office, and you can head there. You step inside, and there's not really there's no guards necessarily in this position. You just see this hall that has a lot of benches. It's almost like, oddly enough, kind of like a chapel in the way there's all these benches, and then a dais with a desk where you see a half-orc gentleman sitting there with really gray mutton chops that are really like overgrown and shaggy that come up to a balding head that comes back, receding like a big old ball on the top, green, shiny, and then just like a little tiny ponytail held up in the back, holding the remaining hair. He is very, very muscular. He's wearing a sleeveless shirt that is, it's clean enough. You see a jacket off to the side, like he might have to occasionally wear a nice overcoat when talking to company representatives that own the mine. But he's just sitting there right now. His hand is just rubbing against his wrinkled forehead. You can see his skin is relatively young looking until he furrows his brow or moves his cheeks or anything, and it all just sinks into these wrinkles that clearly like he's dug over time of stress of managing this mine. And he has clearly a glass of whiskey and a bottle at the table, this is his morning whiskey as he's reviewing some papers, and looks up and just sees you all. And you see a grin, not a cheeky or sly grin, but a weak grin of someone who's like maybe something. As he looks up and goes, "Are you what was promised to help us with this situation by the university?"
Iron and Mana, at your service.
I received a letter that you'd be arriving soon. And he closes his notebook and puts it aside and stands up to come and greet you all. "Foreman Irving, at your service, and I hope you at ours, to deal with this situation. Deal with whatever this situation is. I can offer you whatever you need. I'm sorry, I'm just very exhausted. It's been a lot of late nights. Perhaps we should come sit down, and I can see if I can get us some food for breakfast if you haven't had it already. We can talk about the situation in the mines."
Breakfast would be lovely, thank you.
Oh, we're going right into the mines?
No. We're discussing it. I wouldn't send you in blind.
I thought you said discussing in the mines. My apologies.
Oh, I'm not going in there.
Why don't you tell us what happened?
All right. I'll start from the beginning. And that's where we'll end for tonight, since it's 10 o'clock. All right, folks. Thank you for joining us for, I almost said Iron and Mana, for Adrift in Aldhalor, the Iron and Mana story.
There you go.
Please join us again throughout the week. Hopefully we might get some other streaming up at some point when I'm less tired. But I do have stuff to paint again, and some projects that I want to do with all this fun new setting. So keep an eye out on socials. Otherwise, we'll be back next week for the next episode. We're gonna send a raid on over to Just the Human, who is running a charity event that we have partnered with a little bit to help out. Yeah, going on throughout the next few weeks, I believe. Anyway, have a good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you all next time. Say good night.
Say good night.
Night.
Yeet.